And we welcome you into J.D. Shields Memorial Stadium for the first time since 2007 with regard to high school football postseason. As the Mount Vernon Rams host the Washington Panthers. Good afternoon. Chris Hugo with Danny Czerwinski alongside on WMIX, WMIX FM, and with video at WMIXsports.com. The 10-0 Washington Panthers meet the 7-3 Mount Vernon Rams today, and a battle of two teams that wear identical colors, the orange and black Rams, and today they'll be wearing white. They are the orange and black Panthers from Washington out of the Mid-Illini Conference in D.C. Before we get to the Jared Shaner interview from this morning's Saturday Sports Show, this is the Panther team. We're able to see some game film. Very big, athletic, very quick, and most importantly, play up north, where many would say that's the better football in the state.
Well, currently in the last 5 to 10 years it has been, as far as teams making runs to Champaign, and of course this year to DeKalb. This is a Washington Panthers outfit that's been to the quarterfinals 4 of the last 5 years, and of course this team comes into Mount Vernon. Half came last night, half came down this morning. The starters made the early visit last night, and this team, used to going on the road in the playoffs, having been to the quarterfinals for the last 5 years, playing the same conference, and Mount Vernon fans might remember the name Metamora, among others, of East Peoria, as well as Bartonville Limestone, who's in the playoffs in the 5A bracket across the way at Highland. So this team is no stranger to being playing on round 2 of the IHSA State Football Playoff.
It's the Mid-Illini Conference champs versus the South 7 Conference runners-up, and it's coming up at 1:30. We need to talk with Mount Vernon Rams head football coach Jared Shaner here on your Landers Collision Center's pregame show. Big or small, Landers sticks to them all. Plenty of talk about Washington coming up. First, we'll get to Jared Shaner after a quick break. This is Rams football from WMIX Sports.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. Now is a great time to move your account to Community First Bank. With our new One account offering the highest interest rate in the market, free checking, and CD specials delivered by people you know and trust, why would you not bank with the market leader in Jefferson County? We offer 5 locations with 7 ATMs and have been serving the Jefferson County market since 1906. Stop in and see why our bank is the fastest growing bank in Jefferson County. Community First Bank. Welcome back to personal banking. Member FDIC.
Follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. This is Rams Football from WMIX Sports.
And we welcome you back to your Landers Collision Center's pregame show. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. Now expanded collision centers in Mount Vernon and Salem. Landers Collision Center's proud supporters of the Mount Vernon Rams, as evidenced by the 2 golf carts roaming around that you see here at J.D. Shields Memorial Stadium. Landers Collision Centers donated one of them and then offered a free paint job on the other to refurbish that. So we salute Landers Collision Centers for their commitment to Rams football. We are committed to Rams football. Chris Hugo with Danny Czerwinski alongside. Of course, we're here for the duration as the Mount Vernon Rams welcome the undefeated Washington Panthers. We sat down with Jared Shaner this morning on the Saturday Sports Show. Talk about last week's exciting thriller with the Green Wave from Mattoon. It was a 43-42 final. We also talk about today's game and the Rams' plans for the Panthers of Washington. That's coming up in just a moment. 1:30 is your kickoff. Stay tuned, of course, for that. But we sit down with Jared Shaner on the Saturday Sports Show this morning. Coach, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me today.
Oh, always a pleasure. And, of course, we take a look especially at today, but we rewind back to last week in which the Rams had a thriller with the Green Wave of Mattoon. 43-42 was the final. And I guess the first question off the bat is, whenever the touchdown happens, at the end of the game, 8 seconds left, it is 42-41 at that point. At that point, did you know that you did not go up there for a tie or to go to overtime? You went up there for a win. Is that what led to going for 2?
Yeah, it was actually, honestly, it was before that. I just felt like, I don't know, about midway through that drive, we were moving the ball pretty well and just got kind of confirmation, I guess, the answer I was looking for from one of my assistant coaches. But I knew I was going to go for 2, and kind of the thought process, traditional coaching textbook says on the road, go for 2, at home, go for 1. But I think it probably went a little bit farther than that for me, and in that, you know what, we've had a good season, and I'm very proud of our kids and the turnaround they've made from last year. We're gonna celebrate victory or go home proud of our season. So that was kind of my thought process.
Last week in that game, of course, Mattoon, you jumped out, got a lead, played pretty well, played pretty comfortably. Things started to go backwards a little bit in the second half. Mattoon made that comeback and took the lead. At that point, did you have to do a little cheering on the sidelines to get your team going, or how did they react when they were down like that late in the ball game as far as mentally before they took the field on that last drive?
Yeah, coaches try to stay positive and kids try to stay positive on the sideline, but we've talked about, momentum and how it's kind of a strange thing, but you can definitely tell who's got it. And a lot of times this year when we've been in tough situations, I'm just kind of, I guess, cheerleading a little bit and pleading with the kids. Somebody step up and make a play. Somebody make that big play that sparks us and gets that momentum swing back in our direction. And we've been pretty fortunate. We've had a lot of different kids who have stepped up and made big plays for us this year. And once you get that momentum back, things just, seem to fall in place sometimes.
Speaking of falling in place, of course, the comeback complete, the 2-point conversion good. You had to withstand a couple of crazy plays at the end. From that point on until, say, Sunday night into Monday when the preparation began, the mood, the excitement of not only your team, your staff, the school, the city that you dealt with during that time before you started getting ready for Washington today?
Well, it was I guess awesome would be the best way to describe it. Just all the support that our high school, our administration, our kids, our town, our community have given our football program is great. We came back into town with a police escort and fire engines and a long line of cars of parents and family and well-wishers, and that's just a great experience. And I try to tell the kids, you know what, you'll never forget this, regardless of when our season ends or what our record ends up being. These are memories that, right now these are 17-year-old kids, and a lot of them don't understand the magnitude of it. But, when they're at class reunions or, maybe hanging out with people, years and years from now, they'll talk about these things. And I'm just, again, really excited for our football program and our kids and the success that they're having right now.
Speaking of success, of course, and the fun and frivolity stops, of course, because you can talk about that when the season's over. Now the focus turns to your second-round opponent in the Washington Panthers, and they get to come down. They get to drive 3.5, 4 hours to Mount Vernon. That's a bonus. What can you tell our listeners that'll either be listening or watching today about the Washington Panthers?
Well, one thing I've told a few people this week is, they're not 10-0 by accident. They're a really good football team. They got the number 2 rank in our, in our seeding in the South 16. They're number 2. Obviously, finished the regular season at 9-0 and then beat Peoria High last week. I think for those that come out today or have a chance to log on and watch or listen, they're going to see some similarities. They're a run-first team, very similar to us, and just pound the ball at you. They get in double-tight formations and 2 and 3 backs in the backfield. They have a tremendous set of running backs. All the kids are very capable, but I think there's no doubt it starts with number 21, the Stanley kid for them, has almost 1,500 yards rushing this year, and just a very dynamic football player.
Well, and just a lot of dynamics going into today's game, and I know the kids had to be jacked after the come-from-behind win on the road at Mattoon last week. Knowing that you're faced with a situation of a 10-0 team out of the Mid-Illini Conference, a very tough football conference that contains the likes, of course, of Morton, Metamora, teams of that ilk. What is the attitude of the team going in this week? Is it kind of a feeling of invincibility with a major chip on the shoulder, or have they been pretty level?
We've been pretty level. We had some great practices this week with just a lot of excitement. It was pretty neat obviously we had the time change a week ago. And we talked about the fact that, not too many teams are left and not too many teams have to turn their practice lights on. And that's a big deal. That's what you play high school football for. And, at least one of the goals of it is to practice late when it's cold. And our kids have been really excited about that. And, we've also talked a little bit about, kind of the underdog role. The great part for us today is, hey, we're the number 10 seed and they're the number 2 and they haven't lost. Our kids shouldn't feel any pressure. They just need to go out and play football today and have fun and enjoy doing it. And whatever happens, we'll be proud one way or the other. But I feel like if things go well and we take care of the football, we're going to go out and compete this afternoon.
Of course, this afternoon, a day game, first time since 2007, Mount Vernon hosts a playoff game. Preparations for you, have you been involved in a lot of the logistics, setting things up, or who has helped you to get through things this week? That way you can focus on the game as far as what you need to do as your coach and the staff.
Well, I have been fortunate enough to kind of work with our administration and our Gridiron Club, and I sure don't want to leave anybody out, but our Gridiron president is Chris Curry, and we have all kinds of people who have done a ton of work our administrative team with Coach Creel, the athletic director, and Mr. Olson, our principal, Dr. Smith, and all of our assistant principals. And, Mr. Knutson has a son on the team who's a senior and has done a lot of work this week, and him and his wife. But, the Bradfords, just all kinds of people. And I've been fortunate enough to, they give me some input. But at the end of the day, I kind of tell them, hey, I know you guys will do a great job with whatever we're doing. I want to prepare our kids and come out and compete on Saturday afternoon, and I know all the other things will fall into place. And so I'm very thankful, very appreciative of all the extra effort this week from, just a tremendous amount of people.
Not only that, but we talk about the efforts. Even the civic leaders here in Mount Vernon have taken notice of the success of Rams football this year. And working the city council meeting on Monday night, of course, an official congratulations, of course, from not only the city council, but Mary Jane Chesley as well. And I was very impressed with the fact that they went out of their way to arrange various law enforcement officials and escorting the Rams back to Mount Vernon. And it has to feel pretty good knowing that the leaders at the top have your back as well.
Well, that is a really neat feeling. We've been fortunate. We have a city councilman whose son is a freshman on our football team, and I think kind of got the ball rolling, Mr. Piper. And he called me last week and gave me Mayor Mary Jane's phone number and said she'd like to talk to me. And that's a pretty neat feeling. And I had a chance to talk to her. She was very, very congratulatory, very appreciative of what our football team is doing for our community right now. And I can't say enough about, like I said, just all the people that have helped to make this a special season and, hopefully a special day today.
There wasn't an inkling of worry that you had a message that said you need to call the mayor? You weren't worried at all?
Well, I was going back. I think all the really poor decisions I've made in my life were far enough back that it probably didn't follow me this far. So, but I asked him, I said, is this a good conversation? And he said, absolutely. We'd like to welcome you guys back into town after your Matthews game.
And just
it's not to say that I haven't made poor decisions recently, just none that the mayor would be too concerned about, probably.
Well, it's not a poor decision if you don't get caught. That's what some outlooks in life happen to be. But a great decision has just been. I have no idea where I'm going with this now. That ended up being a horrible segue and a horrible transition, but that's okay. The folks are going to laugh out of this later on our pregame show. But just looking at today, you look at the Washington Panthers, you look at the Mount Vernon Rams, you look at two teams that primarily run the football, you look at two teams that wear orange and black, and for all the differences, there sure seem to be a lot of similarities between these two teams.
Well, I think there are. You're exactly right. From school colors to kind of offensive styles and just all kinds of different things. So I hope it's going to be a great game. Our kids have competed all year this year, and I just feel like we'll come out and do that. They're going to be ready to play this afternoon, and like I said, it'll be a very difficult task. Washington's a great football team and has a great history, but we'll go out and kick it off at 1:30, and hopefully good things will happen for the Rams.
Well, no doubt about that. I know you have a busy morning. I know there's going to be a lot of extracurriculars going on today. I know there's going to be some official tailgating, things like that, as there should be on Saturday football. But we'd be remiss, of course, without the WMIX Sports social media question that I just realized I have no idea what it is.
Here's the question. What professional sport
That's right.
would you not want to be a head coach for?
That's a good question. I think... probably basketball. And the reason I say that is in basketball, I've done a little bit of coaching here and a couple other previous times. The people are so close to you, all the fans, and most everybody has picked up a basketball and played a pickup game or maybe played grade school basketball. So everybody seems to always have the right answers. And I also think the other aspect of the professional side of that is I think coaching any professionals would be difficult, but it seems to me like, the egos and sometimes the attitudes in professional basketball would be very difficult to handle. How do you tell Kobe Bryant not to shoot the ball would be a question.
I wouldn't. I'd tell him shoot it more, even with one leg.
Yeah.
I don't care how many shots you threw up. And I tell all the other Lakers, all 11 of them, hey, see this guy here? He's going to get 25 a game. I don't care what you guys do.
That would probably be your best coaching strategy there. You're right.
Uh-huh. Coach, always a pleasure. Glad to see everybody around town so jacked and so juiced for this game today, and just glad to see playoff football return to King City. Best of luck to your young men today, and, of course, we'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys.
Of course, that was this morning's effort on the Saturday Sports Show as we talked to Jared Shaner about last week's game, and, of course, this Week 11 game, the Sweet 16 for Mount Vernon Rams football. First time since 2007. First football home game since 2007 against the Cahokia Comanches. Plenty more coming up on your Landers Collision Center's pregame show. We'll talk more about the Washington Panthers. We'll also talk about your Mount Vernon Rams. It's all ahead. Stay tuned. This is Rams football from WMIX Sports.
The tradition of fine vehicles and great service continues at Second Chance Auto. They've been providing quality cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs for families like yours for over 33 years, and many are priced under $10,000. Plus, most have a 3-month or 3,000-mile warranty. Bank rate financing available with instant approval. No gimmicks, no pressure, just honest deals on great vehicles from your friends and neighbors at Second Chance Auto, living and contributing back to the community they serve. Located on Route 142 East in Mount Vernon, call 244-4582.
Ren Lake College Theater presents Treasure Island. This swashbuckling stage adaptation incorporates plenty of comedy and includes all the adventures of Robert Louis Stevenson's classic tale. Enjoy nightly performances Thursday, November 7th through Saturday, November 9th, and a special Sunday matinee on November 10th. It's called a ridiculously funny version of the classic adventure tale. Tickets are just $12 through the RLC ticket office. Call the RLC box office at 437-4321, extension 1467.
Watch the Rams online at WMIXsports.com. Powered by Ren Lake College.
And we welcome you back, J.D. Shields Memorial Stadium. It's a beautiful, sunny Saturday afternoon. Chris Hugo with Danny Czerwinski alongside. Avery Barton handles the video. Holly Carroll back at our Mount Vernon studio on WMIX, WMIX FM, and WMIXsports.com. It's the Washington Panthers. It's the Mount Vernon Rams. It's second-round football action, the IHSA Class 5A playoffs. The Rams hosting their first playoff home game since 2007, a game in which they hosted Conference foe Cahokia in the opening round, and that one had a flair for the dramatic as the Rams were able to beat the Comanches in that game. It took a 42-yard pass from Jacob Alvis to Dontrell Black on a slant play to give the Rams the lead and eventually the win. And, of course, that season concluded the following week at Charleston. But we're so glad to be here with you. Of course, if you're watching at WMIXsports.com, you see the dormant Bermuda grass. All in all, hopefully will lead to a quick service today for the Rams runners. But as we talk about rushing, it's the Washington Panthers, who may be notorious for the running game this year, stockpiling over 3,000 yards on the ground this season.
Now, they set a record. They had a team in 85 go to the state finals and win a state championship, and for them, they figured out that they can run the football a little bit. And this team, of course, has compiled already, in only 10 games in, a little over 3,800 yards, about 380 a game, and that breaks that 14-game record from 85. So this team can get it done on the ground. You're going to see the team come out with no huddle. You're going to see the spread. You're going to see them look like they're going to throw the ball everywhere, and all of a sudden, they're going to run the football. I would compare their passing attack much like a sniper attack, where all of a sudden they're going to line you, run you, and then pop you from a long distance with that pass. And that's kind of how I would describe the Panthers' offense.
Well, the Panthers' offense, of course, going to rely on the run, but can't get it done through the air. As we saw and heard, maybe not 20 passing attempts per game between both of these teams, but we take a look at the Panther game versus Morton, of course, against the Potters on the road. This is a team that established the run early and often. But beyond that, Danny, of course, as you said, a sniper attack on the pass, but they got a few passing touchdowns as well.
Well, they look pretty good on the film we saw throwing the football, and I look at it as this team can do a lot of everything. And the toughness of what goes on and what happens is you're going to have to match them, and you're going to have to match the passing.
Indeed, and of course, the marching band is performing at the moment on the loyalty on the empty field. Of course, you're watching at WMIXsports.com. You're listening to us here on WMIX AM and FM. Chris Hugo with Danny Czerwinski alongside. We'll have the national anthem coming in just a moment. Actually, that might be what's getting ready to come right now. A lot of dignitaries in attendance. We saw wrestling coach Sean Doherty. His team will get started on Monday. In front of us is a Ram record holder, Brian Stipe, of course, not the former quarterback. We are going to honor America from J.D. Shields Memorial Stadium. This is Rams football from WMIX Sports.
Attention all Medicare Part D pharmacy patients. The annual enrollment period begins October 15th and ends December 7th. And the Medicine Shop Pharmacy is ready to help you. Stop by or call to make an appointment with Eric Black or Tracy Adams. They'll review your current prescription plan and help you manage your Medicare dollars. Here's pharmacist and pharmacy owner Eric Black.
What we offer to our patients is to sit down with them and answer questions that they may have about their medications, really with the end goal of being to maximize their dollars, because that's, after all, what patients really want. We'll take appointments, we'll sit down with them, take as long as it takes to help them choose a plan that is effective at meeting their needs.
Remember, the good folks at the Medicine Shop Pharmacy are never too busy to take care of you. They look forward to understanding your healthcare needs and will focus on keeping you well. The Medicine Shop Pharmacy, 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
To call to make an appointment, call 618-242-8776. At Banterra, we understand that banking is a relationship. It's a friendly face that knows your name, understands your needs, supports your goals. Banterra offers a complete range of personal and business banking products with competitive rates and loans that range from small projects to multi-million-dollar opportunities. We offer conveniences such as online banking, mobile banking, and direct deposit. For a strong community bank with exceptional customer service, Banterra is a smart choice for your banking needs. Banterra Bank, a proud supporter of Southern Illinois high school sports. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. This is Mount Vernon Rams Football, powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland.
And we welcome you back to the King City, the Mount Vernon Rams and the Washington Panthers. Second round of the IHSA football playoffs as we are here on WMIX AM and FM online at WMIXsports.com. This is your Landers Collision Center pregame show. Big or small, Landers fixes and details them all. LandersAuto.com for Landers Collision Centers of Mount Vernon and Salem. With Danny Czerwinski, I'm Chris Hugo. So glad you could join us today as the Mount Vernon Rams are getting ready to take the field here in just a moment. We look across the way, we see a lot of orange and black as Washington faithful have made their way down, but we look just in front of us, we see a lot of orange and black as Mount Vernon has come to rally these playoff Rams.
Well, and that's the thing. You got to get out and support, and, of course, everybody gets on the bandwagon. I mean, there were a lot of fans that made the trek to Coles County last week, of course, to see the Rams win in exciting fashion over Mattoon. And we also welcome our newly acquired friends from Washington, Illinois. Of course, a lot of them across the way in the bleachers. A lot of them we've talked to before the game, players, coaches, and fans. And, of course, those that didn't make the trip from Washington will hope to make you feel at home. So you can watch your Washington Panthers here at WMIXsports.com.
You betcha. Give us a follow on Twitter at WMIX Sports. Find us on Facebook as well. Chris Hugo with Danny Czerwinski alongside Avery Bart provides the video angles today. And, of course, Holly Carroll is back at our Mount Vernon studios as we near the bottom of this 1 o'clock hour when this game will get underway. We'll have those Central Christian Church starting lines coming up in just a moment. We'll also have your keys to this afternoon's game. I have a feeling there's going to be a patriotic theme behind those as Mount Vernon is battling Washington. Champions of the Mid-Illini Conference, of course, over Limestone, Pekin, Metamora, Dunlap, Morton, East Peoria, and Canton. Of course, the non-conference schedule had Bloomington Central Catholic and LaSalle Peru, so area teams. You take a look at this undefeated record, and, of course, they get here last week with a come-from-behind win over Peoria Central.
Well, that's a big win for them. That's a bigger school they're taking on there. A rivalry kind of game with, of course, you know, the opportunity being they get the big win at Peoria, and then, of course, they come down the road here to Mount Vernon, a school that has been to the quarterfinals 4 of the last 5 years. They have a state title back in '85, a flying high in the parking lot over there, letting us remind us of that from our Washington fans. And you look at this team, it's a hard-nosed brand of football played in that part of the state. A lot of people will recognize Metamora, at least in the South 7 Conference, because Metamora has 4 wins against the South 7 Conference in playoff play in the last 16 years. So this is a conference, very tough, hard-nosed football. And, of course, Bartonville Limestone across the way at Highland today, another team in that conference. You know it's going to be a tough day of football here from Washington.
Of course, in Madison County, it's the 9-1 Limestone Rockets, the 10-0 Highland Bulldogs. That one should be a dandy as well. We'll try to keep you updated on all the goings-on of local high school teams that are participating still in the postseason. Of course, the winner of this game here between Washington and Mount Vernon gets Normal U-High/Jacksonville, the winner of that game 1 week from now. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll get you set here on your Landers Collision Center's pregame show with your Central Christian Church starting lineups, as well as your keys to this afternoon's game. Beautiful day. Great Saturday here in the King City for playoff football. We'll tell you more about it when we come back. This is Rams Football from WMIX Sports.
We've all had dreams of being king or queen. Now's your chance. Hi, Roy Schmidt Lincoln Dealer at Ford Square, Mount Vernon. The 2013 Lincoln MKX makes the perfect throne. With all of its splendor and majesty, the 2013 Lincoln MKX continues to be the king of the crossovers. With heated and cooled front seats, panoramic vista roof, and available ambient lighting, you'll wish you would have been driving the MKX sooner. It truly is fit for a king and queen. Drive away in brand new luxury when you trade in any 1995 or newer vehicle and pay only $35,625 plus tax, title, and destination on a 2013 Lincoln MKX. With this amazing deal, our remaining selections won't last. Hurry and see one of our sales associates at Ford Square, Mount Vernon, or view our selection of Lincoln Luxury online at fordsquare.com and find us on Facebook.
High school sports are back, and your source for scores is WMIXsports.com. Also, find archived local sports broadcasts, video highlights, national sports headlines, and more right at your fingertips. Listen and watch live WMIX sports broadcasts from your desktop or any mobile device. Need a score? Want to see a sick dunk? Miss a game? Didn't get up in time for the Saturday sports show? That's right, it's all at WMIXsports.com. Another free service from Withers Broadcasting. WMIXsports.com. Watch the Rams online at WMIXsports.com. Powered by Ren Lake College.
And we welcome you back to the WMIX Sports Mobile Studios here at J.D. Shields Memorial Stadium in Mount Vernon. The Rams and the Washington Panthers about 3 minutes away from getting this one in. Of course, it's the second week of the IHSA postseason. Next week will be the quarterfinals. Winner of this game gets the winner of Normal U High and Jacksonville. That is a 1 p.m. start. So that one is underway. We'll have scoreboard updates for you throughout the afternoon here. Just keep your dial tuned here. Keep your web locked on. And, of course, follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. With Danny Czerwinski, again, I'm Chris Hugo in D.C. Before we get to the starting lineups, it's a beautiful afternoon here for such a patriotic game. Let's have some
you got to have 1 quarter at a time. No Washington quarter. You got, if you're Mount Vernon, you got to play 1 quarter at a time to try to sling this upset here today against these highly touted Washington Panthers. Another thing is, I'm not going to tell you a lie. You got to chop them down with a running game. You got to do some things differently with some passing. And you might have to throw in a trick play every once in a while here to try to gain some advantage. And the third thing is you're going to have to forge your way through the valleys that happen in a game. Ups and downs this will be. They're going to punch you a little bit. You're going to punch a little bit. But you got to forge your way through it if you expect to get a victory.
Of course, the Mount Vernon Rams will kick off first, which means they will have the football to start the second half. We'll get you some names and numbers here on Washington in just a moment. We'll meet the starting lineups presented by Central Christian Church. Also in a moment, thenewscentral.com. Log on to find amazing ministry multimedia, as well as you can watch their webcasts at thenewscentral.com. Central Christian Church, loving God and loving people. Of course, we told you wrestling coach Sean Doherty in attendance. Scott Gamber is handling the public address duties. He is the men's basketball coach here at Mount Vernon Township High School. Tim Holloway, the men's baseball coach, is making an appearance. We're about to get it away. Dylan Reeves is on to kick off. A deep man for the Panthers. It's not going to matter. It's going to be up to the hands team at about the 44-yard line. Going to be picked up by Washington. And it looks like the quarterback, Colton Marshall, coming up with it. A little 1:57 to go in the first quarter. We are just underway. Chris Hugo with Danny Czerwinski alongside, and what is a beautiful Saturday afternoon.
Beautiful day. Great for football. Lots of people here. Here comes the no huddle of the Washington Panthers.
We'll see how this works out for the Rams, typically out of the I formation. They're going to split off to the right side, Hayden Bodine. Off to the left, of course, they'll have another wide receiver in Jake Miller. Quarterback is actually going to be under center this time. Single back set. It's going to be their leading rusher up to the right side. Casey Danley almost lost the football, able to hang on as he came to the near side. Got to about the 47-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 2. It'll bring up 2nd and 8. 11:45 to play in this scoreless first quarter. As, of course, the undefeated Washington Panthers looking to move the football here with their first series of the game. Oh. And here we are underway. Of course, leading the way is the center, Nathan Baker. He is 6'1", 290. They'll go split left and right. Quarterback will be under center. Fullback, of course, is number 42, Cameron Shoney. This is going to be a handoff to Danley. Shook a tackle. It was Knudsen. And now off to the left side between the hashes. Danley will break to the outside across midfield. 40, 35 at the 30. Trying to get to the sideline. Jacoby Marshall will catch up inside the 30. This will be at about the 27. So this is going to be quite the game. Roughly of about, 25 yards.
Basically got to the middle of the line. Mount Vernon had a shot at him. Didn't wrap him. Busted loose, banked it back to the outside against the grain, and the tacklers 25-yard gain and a first down. You see why he's the leading rusher on this team.
This is the ball movement we have seen. He comes in with 1,417 yards on the season, does Casey Danley. Under center, it'll be the quarterback, of course, Colton Marshall. Split to the right side, ball on the far hash, split to the left. It'll be number 19, Jake Miller. Here comes the snap. It's going to be pitched to the right side. It'll be Danley into the backfield. And then it's going to be Brighton Bowers on a big tackle for loss. That'll push it all the way back to about the 35-yard line, a loss of 8. That'll bring up 2nd and 18 for the Rams with 10:40 to play in the first.
That's a big one there. Nice toss in the backfield there. Loss of about 5. Read the play very well. That's film watching. But again, Mount Vernon has to be very quick with their defensive substitutions because Washington goes no huddle. Now, interesting enough, the quarterback ran over and took the play that time, comes back in, calls out a play on a wristband. Usually they just stand and look to the sideline.
Bodine split to the right in motion, of course, is going to be the tight end, Izagiri. Now he'll line up. The strong side will be to the left. It's going to be off tackle for Danley, trying to find a seam to the outside. Now tries to cut back at about the 30. He brought down for a nice little gain there, past the line of scrimmage, the original one, at about the 25. We'll see where they spot the football. This will bring up 3rd down for the Panthers with 9:57 to play in the first. Still no score.
Very lucky that the wide receiver that time turned the defender into the running path of the running back from Washington. Had he not, if he'd have been blocking him back towards the inside, he'd been able to bust outside and went down the sideline for 6. Good job by the Mount Vernon defender that time to fight off that blocker and then shut him down after an 8-yard gain.
9:36 to go in the opening quarter. No score here from Mount Vernon. Panthers threatening 3rd and 7 on the Mount Vernon 24. It's on the far hash. Out of the eye, new tailback will be Randy Miniweather. Looking to pass on the left side. This one is going to be complete out the flat by, I believe, to the fullback.
Yep, that's the first down. Just a little dump into the flat left side. Got the first down with about an 8-yard pass.
Cameron Shoney, and that'll bring up first down, as you said. 9:20 to play in the first quarter. No score yet. Here in second-round football action, this is the Class 5A football playoff game. Winner, of course, gets the winner of Normal U-High in Jacksonville next week. Get your scores throughout the game. Remind you, the Rams football is powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland with 5 Jefferson County branches. They are the market leader by far. Community First Bank of the Heartland. Welcome back to personal banking. Member FDIC. Split left to right out of the eye for the quarterback. And this is going to be an inside handoff to Miniweather. Goes off tackle right up the gut to about the 15, maybe the 14. We'll see how many they give. It's going to be second down, probably about 8. With 8:53 to go in the scoreless first.
Concern is up the middle right now. And, of course, the offensive line for Washington, very formidable, as we've seen on film and on highlights. Big group that can run block with the best, some of the best I've seen all year on film or in person. And right now they're getting 2 and 3 yards average per run, especially on the up the middle, the dives, and the 1 and 2 holes.
Quarterback, of course, is a senior. He's 5'8", 150, according to the roster I found. Colton Marshall.
Quite a character. Had a chance to talk to him well before the game. He's quite a character. Good kid.
2nd and 7. This is going to be an inside handoff up the middle. Was that Miniweather again? Nope, it looks like it was a fullback. Again, Cameron Shoney. Not going to get much of the play. Close to a first down.
They're getting positive yardage. 3 yards, 3 yards. You make the down manageable if you're Washington. These two teams don't like to have 3rd and long. Not that any football teams do. But in this case, these running teams do not like that at all.
7:54 to play in the first quarter. No score between the Rams and the Panthers. Split to the right side will be the receiver, Bodine. Split to the left is Miller. It'll be inside handoff to Danley as he stopped short of a first down. Looks like he got to about the 10, which is where the line of scrimmage was. And that's so. That'll bring up 4th down.
Well, they didn't come this far not to go for it on 4th down here. First big play of the game for the Rams, as I said on that.
No doubt. We'll see if the defense can bend but not break on 4th and 2. Ball is on the 9-yard line for Washington. It's in Mount Vernon territory on the far hash with 7:20 to go in the opening quarter. No score yet. But the Panthers looking to change that. They'll bring in a new power eye.
They are not even got their play yet. 10 seconds to go. Play is called. The formation, here they go.
Out of the power eye, it'll be the quarterback, Marshall, under center. Extra fullback. And he's going to plow ahead. Looks like he may have enough for the first down as he gets close to the 5. They will get to the 5. So a gain of 4 will give them first and goal with 7 minutes to play in the first quarter. Still no score, but Panthers looking to change that in a hurry.
Kind of how we thought this would go. They're going to line up, and they're going to get a cap and helmet and a cap on everybody. And that time, doing it very well, knocking the Rams back in the offensive line right now for Washington, winning the battle in the trenches so far, hat on hat.
6:50 to play in the first quarter. Ball in the far hash, first and goal from the 5-yard line. Power eye again for Washington. Double side. It's going to be a handoff to Danley. Goes off tackle left. Looks like he escapes into the end zone for a 5-yard touchdown, and Casey Danley gives the Panthers an early 6-0 lead.
Well, unfortunately for Mount Vernon, they had nothing there that time for Washington. They simply were blown back off the football, and the Rams find themselves down early here after a long 55-yard drive by Washington.
Always bank on your hometown team. Community First Bank, home of the one account, featuring free checking and high-yield interest. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender on to attempt the point after. Here it comes. Looks like that was number 19, Jake Miller, from having done my homework. So the PAT is good. It's now 7-0 Washington with 6:39 to play in the first.
10 plays, 55 yards, 5.5 minutes on that drive, and that is Washington Panthers football. That is for sure, as they exhibited some power and strength to drive down the field that time.
6:38 to go, 7-0 your score. Rams will get the football for the first time today. We'll check into some scores in just a moment. You can stay up to date on Twitter at WMIX Sports. We're on Facebook as well. We'll put a scoreboard up tonight at WMIXSports.com. Chris Hugo with Danny Czerwinski alongside Avery Barton joins us from J.D. Shields Memorial Stadium. Holly Carroll is back in our Mount Vernon studio. A win puts the team in the quarters next week against either U-High out of normal or the Jacksonville Crimson and Coach Mark Rounds. Let's see. It'll be Miller on the kickoff. Rams will not quite get to the deep man as DeMontez Miller-Gray's a deep man at about the 10. This will go out of bounds at about the 24. Drives coaches nuts. There'll be a flag on the play, and we'll see if the Rams force the re-kick or just take the penalty.
Well, with them kicking with the wind, you better not. You might want to just take it and go here.
That's exactly what they do. It'll bring up 1st and 10 for the Rams. 6:39 to play in the first. 7-0 your score as Washington takes the early lead. It was a Casey Danley 5-yard touchdown up the left from the far hash from 5 yards out. See if the Rams will get to their starting offense in just a moment. What's to the left side will be Gardner. On the right, of course, but not very far. It'll be Jacoby Marshall, the tight ends. A couple of slot backs for Jared Shaner's Rams. The quarterback, Dylan Reeves, will be under center. 7-0 is the Rams deficit. In motion, Lloyd. It's going to be Reeves trying to take it off tackle up the right. Fading the handoff to C.J. Lloyd, who is in motion from far to near. And it won't be much. It might be a gain of 1 if they're lucky to bring up 2nd and 9.
Other scores quickly. Staunton leads Carlisle at the end of 1, 7-0. Greenville over Robinson, 7-0 in the first. Mount Carmel over Carterville, 14-7 at the end of 1. In the second, Altall 7, Heron 6. Jacksonville and Normal U-High are tied at 14 at the end of 1 quarter.
Scoreboard updates today are presented by Tony Wilk, State Farm Insurance. We'll tell you about Anthony after this play from the Rams. Quarterback Dylan Reeves will be under center. Marshall and Gardner are your receivers from right to left. In motion, it's going to be Miller Gray running to the near side. He's trying to get to the 40-yard line, still on his feet. He breaks outside. Ooh, it's going to be brought down past the 45 with a dive, first down yardage at about the 46. And so that'll be a gain of about 8. It'll bring up 1st and 10 with 5:52 to go in the first. Still 7-0 Washington.
I think you got to get a first down. Obviously, Mount Vernon's going to be the more nervous team, less experienced being this far in the playoffs with this particular group. You need a first down or two to break the lather and sweat. And that time, the hyphen gets to the left side again, goes for a long run, and a first down.
Quarterback Dylan Reeves stands behind the center, Tyler Bradley. Your guards are Alex Hopkins and Josh Borland. Your tackles on the line are London Marler and Eli Phillips. Receivers, Jacoby Marshall and Doug Gardner. Your backs are DeMontez Miller-Gray, C.J. Lloyd. Fullback is Graham Hinkins. Slot back set here for Jared Shaner's Rams. It's going to be an inside handoff to the fullback, Hinkins, and he's probably going to get about 2 on the play to the 49, and we'll bring up 2nd and 8. Starting minus day and every day. Presented by Central Christian Church. Log on to thenewscentral.com. Watch their webcast and find amazing ministry multimedia at thenewscentral.com. Central Christian Church is loving God and loving people. There you have it. 5:07 to play in the first. 7-0 Washington on top. Split left, it'll be Gardner. Right, it'll be Marshall. Same backs for Jared Shaner's Rams, of course. Miller, Gray, Hinkton, and C.J. Lloyd. Dylan Reeves is under center. Looks like an inside handoff, and instead it's going to be a quarterback keeper. Maybe just shy of the 50, so no gain. Will bring up 3rd and 8 with 4:45 to go in the quarter.
A lot of the people in the stands were fooled. You could see Hinkton go through basically untouched. The reason he was untouched, the Washington defense did not fall for the trickery and therefore made sure to keep on to the running back that had the football.
4:30 to play in the first quarter, 7-0 ball game. Washington scored on their first drive. It was a 5-yard TD from number 21, Casey Danley. The Rams will split Marshall out of the numbers on the far side. Now to the near sideline split. It's going to be Doug Gardner. Same backs. Lloyd in motion. Reeves looking for the quick pass. It's going to be a slant. It's going to be tipped. It's going to be tipped out of bounds. They'll stop the clock at 4:13 to go in the first. Make it 4th and 7 for the Rams. The ball at midfield.
As a defensive back, you're taught that if you can't get to the quarterback, throw your hands up, get in the pass, get in the view. And that time, that's what the defensive end did. Tipped that pass and forced a 4th down. And Mount Vernon likely to punt. This time will be into the wind.
The quarterback, Reeves, to punt. Back to return. It looks like that will be number 6, Hayden Bodine. They're going to send 2 back to return. Ooh, almost blocked. Instead, it's going to be picked up at about the 25 and have to fall on it. It looks like that was Danley who came up with it. Shy to 30 and about the 29 will be 1st and 10 for Washington. Again, they lead 7-0. If you're watching online at WMIXsports.com, it's powered by Rim Lake College. You can save thousands of dollars in your collegiate education. Find out how at rlc.edu and apply online while you're there.
Mount Vernon that time only 5 plays on that particular possession, and we'll have to step it up defensively here quickly.
Of course, we never met your Ram defense. We'll meet them now. Your quarterbacks, Jacoby Marshall and DeMontez Miller-Gray. Safeties in the secondary are Doug Gardner and Xavier Tyus. Your defensive ends are Robert Grider and Tyler Knutson. Also on the line, Bryton Bowers and Trevor Schubert, while your linebackers are Andrew Heiner, Graham Hinkin, and Jacob Williams. The play is going to be quickly. It's out of the eye. It's going to be, I believe, Randy Miniweather up the middle. Gets to about the 35, so we'll go ahead and call it a fair gain of 5.5 to 6. We'll bring up second at about 4 with 3:53 to go in the first. Have to be happy with a 7-0 ball game at this point.
Tell you what, you got to be happy, but right now, Mount Vernon, if they don't change some things here, Washington could pound and ground and run off and hide in this one early on.
3:40 left to go in the opening quarter. The Panthers 7, the Rams nothing. Under center, of course, is going to be the quarterback out of the eye, Marshall. Quarterback keeper right in the middle. Somebody's got to catch up with him about midfield. We'll bring him down finally at about the Rams' 48-yard line. So Marshall had a nice plan there on this political affair. Be a gain of about 17. It'll bring up 1st and 10 for the Panthers at the ball spot.
That is a blown defensive assignment that time. I don't even think Marshall was going to keep the ball running through there, and he kept it, and nobody touched him. And unfortunately, he gets the 1st down, and chunks of yardage being rattled off here right now.
If you're tired of big corporate banking, you have a choice in Jefferson County. Community First Bank is at home. And Dick Sign of Woodlawn and Mount Vernon. Welcome back to personal banking. Remember, FDIC. Bodine split to the right side. They'll go tight left. High formation for the quarterback, Marshall. Looks like Miniweather is your tailback. It's going to be an inside handoff. Miniweather looking to go left side off tackle. Gets to the 45. Between the hashes, will stumble to about the 43. We'll see where they give him. Might be a gain of 5 to bring up 2nd and 5. As we drop below the 3-minute mark. Still 7-0 Panthers.
Tough situation right now for Mount Vernon. They're getting a lot of plays run on their defense right now. Double digit now. This will be the 14th play they've seen from the scrimmage compared to 5 the Rams have run offensively. Right now, the black-shirted team needs to dig down and start at least gaining some advantage little by little in that front offensive line in the trenches.
If your friendly wager is on the team in orange and black, you picked well. Miniweather is going to go off tackle. Ooh, nice little jump there as he jumped over the 40 to about the 38. We'll see where they give the spot. It's going to be 1st down yardage. The change will move. We'll give credit for about an 8-yard gain and 1st down yardage with 2:25 left.
It is nothing fancy, Chris. It's just flat-out helmet on helmet, moving guy out of the way, power football out of the power eye. They're running wherever they want to right now, and some adjustments. Maybe Mount Vernon has to roll the safety up, try to get some extra guys in there to help try to alleviate some of this blocking right now.
We'll see what they do. As Marshall under center out of the eye, split to the right side. It's going to be Miniweather on the carry again, trying to pound it up the gut. Found a nice little gap left side. Got past the 35, which is where the line of scrimmage was just about. Yeah, we'll see what they give. It's going to be a gain of about 2 maybe for 2nd and 8 with 1:55 to play in the first quarter. Again, if you're just tuning in, the Washington Panthers scored on their first drive. Were able to stop Mount Vernon on their initial drive, and it's still 7-0 Washington. As they threaten in Ram territory on the 32-yard line, where it'll be 2nd and 8 for the far hash. Hard to see the far hash on this dormant Bermuda grass here in November. Offset eye this time. Handoff's going to go to the left side. Another runner is Jimmy McKay. My apologies. Up the left side will bring up 3rd down. Didn't get much on that, maybe a couple of yards. The clock will reach the 1:20 mark.
And right now, it's little here, little there, big play here. Look for this quick hitter now by Washington. They're going to power the football here in this case. Might try to play action fake here, considering they ran.
They're going to feign the handoff. The quarterback's going to take it himself, and not going to get much out of it. As there to swallow up the gap was Brighton Steele. at about the 30. So that'll push it back a yard. That'll make it 4th and about 6 with 55 seconds left in the quarter. So 4th and 5 is the official ruling. It's spotted on the 30-yard line. 7-0 Washington. Let's see what the Panthers decide to go with here. Marshall go off to the sideline. He's going to come back in. They'll go out of the I, split to the right side. The wide receiver is 5'10", 145 pounds, allegedly Hayden Bodine. Going to be a quarterback roll on left side, fakes the handoff. Now trying to cut back as he gets through the gap on the left side. The Rams are going to make the stop. Just shy of a first down. Got about 3 yards left side as he tried to cut a little too much. There were 28.3 seconds left. The Rams regained the football.
Now, good play by Mount Vernon, quarterback. Maybe not the fleetest of foot out there running that play. Not going to beat you with the football very much with his legs, but that time was stopped 1 yard short by the Rams defensively.
28.3 seconds left in the opening quarter. 7-0 ball game, and it's 1st and 10 for the Rams from their own 27-yard line. Ball spotted on the far hash. Rams will bring 2 to the left. It'll be Marshall in the slot. Split to the left side. It'll be Doug Gardner. Wing back to the right, slot back to the left. Fullback is Hinkett. They're going to load up strong side. They're going to bring DeMontez Miller-Gray. DMG gets to the 31. Maybe a gain of 4 to make it 2nd and 6 with 20 seconds left in the quarter.
We'll see. Adjustments and changes. We'll see how it goes.
The WMIX Sports Mobile Studios are driven by Ford Square, 1501 Broadway in Mount Vernon. You can schedule your service appointments online at FordSquare.com. 3 seconds left in the quarter, and this is perhaps where this one is going to end. We have reached the end of one quarter. The Washington Panthers 7, the Mount Vernon Rams nothing. This is Rams football powered by Community First Bank.
This is your local State Farm agent, Tony Wilt. I want to thank Mount Vernon and the surrounding area for continuing to support us over the past 5 years. If you have never sat down with someone to go over your insurance program, let me invite you into our office. Let us show you what working with the industry leader, represented by a local agent, can do for you. I'm located just off 42nd Street. You can reach our office 24 hours a day at 242-1421 or on the web at TonyWilt.com. Thanks again, and go Rams.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. Now is a great time to move your account to Community First Bank. With our new One account offering the highest interest rate in the market, free checking, and CD specials delivered by people you know and trust, why would you not bank with the market leader in Jefferson County? We offer 5 locations with 7 ATMs and have been serving the Jefferson County market since 1906. Stop in and see why our bank is the fastest growing bank in Jefferson County. Community First Bank. Welcome back to personal banking. Member FDIC.
Follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. This is Rams Football from WMIX Sports.
We head to the second quarter from J.D. Shields Memorial Stadium. Chris Hugo with Danny Czerwinski alongside. It's 7-0 Washington, but it's Ram football. 2nd and 6 from their own 31 to open the quarter. Look to the left side. Ooh.
Yeah, Mount Vernon moved. 5 yards on the Rams. Looks like from my vantage point. Chris Fred not so friendly with the point. Actually, he looked like he had jumped, but then he quickly pointed to the Ram offensive line, and he is correct. It'll be a false start to push it back to 2nd and 11 with 12 minutes to play in the second quarter. We're just underway. Actually, not really underway. Didn't get a playoff. Well, here's some updates. South of 64, not looking good, Chris. Even north of 64, we have to watch out for. Staunton over Carlisle, 7-zip. Greenville Robinson, 7-zip. Mount Carmel over Carterville, 21-13. Alcoff over Heron, 7-6. Rochester leads Mater Dei 13-zip. Jacksonville and Normal U High are tied at 14 at the end of 1.
That was my upset special. We'll see what happens there with that Jacksonville U High game.
Jacksonville now up 21-14.
There you go. Scoreboard updates are presented by Tony Wilt, State Farm Insurance. Where will you find the white State Farm Jeep? I saw it around town on Tuesday. Actually saw the driver, Tony Wilt. You can get to a better state. He'd love to help you with all of your insurance needs. That's Tony Wilt, State Farm agent in Mount Vernon. Find them worldwide at TonyWilt.com. So we have yet to get a snap off in the second quarter. It'll be 2nd and 11. Ball spotted inside the far hash from the Ram 26. To the right, Miller-Gray is going to be a slot receiver here. They're going to throw a fade pattern here on the near side. That's going to be in and out of the hands of Jacoby Marshall. Great play defensively by the corner, number 85, Tyler Burns. And that burned the Rams. It'll bring up 3rd and 11 with 11:55.
We heard Todd Rushing talk about this on the Saturday Sports Show, where you have a situation where you got some kids playing in the daytime, maybe not used to doing that. Mount Vernon heading towards the north, and you have to look over his shoulder to see that football. The sun back here with the change in time over last weekend, difficult catch, went right through his hands, I think, on a night or a cloudy day probably makes that catch. The sun probably affected him that time.
What's the right side? It'll be Jacoby Marshall. On the slot right, it will actually be C.J. Lloyd. Split left, Doug Gardner. The quarterback, Dylan Reeves, is under center with 11:55 in the half. It'll be a handoff. Nope, it's going to be Dylan Reeves bringing it left side. The quarterback kept it shy of the 25. Actually going to be a loss on the play. It'll be 4th and long.
One thing you and I noticed on film, and we noticed this is a very quick linebacking core, that Washington will run at you, and you can't get side to side very often in this ball game and get some yardage.
And we welcome those of you watching from Washington on WMIXsports.com. Said they'd rather have the radio coverage and said they're going to try it out in their cars on AM 940. Might be a little tough to get in your house up there near Peoria, but we do know you can pick it up during the day very nicely. 4th and 12 for the Rams. The ball beyond the near hash as they're going to let C.J. Lloyd handle the punting duties. Back to return, it looks like we have Danley and the wide receiver Bodine at about the 40. Going to be a high snap. Lloyd some trouble. Manages to get a kick off and a nice tight punt past midfield. It'll take a Ram bounce to about the 40. It'll be at the 38 where he picked up by Danley. And chasing Danley down at about the 35-yard line will be a trio of Rams, but the contact initially started by Orlando Watson, and that's where the Panthers will have it 1st and 10 with 11:15 to play in the half. Still 7-0.
Well, I'm not sure that Danley needed to pick that up in that situation. I know it was bouncing towards putting them back deep in their own line of scrimmage. That's the kind of thing where punt returners pick something up late like that and gets knocked out, laid out, and he's not playing much in this second part of this game. Got lucky, made the play, and again, decent field position for Washington on their 3rd drive of the game.
No doubt about that. Of course, you can always bank on the hometown team with Community First Bank of the Heartland. Home of the One account featuring free checking and high-yield interest. Just ask for one. Member FDIC.
Oh.
Somebody needs to find a get-back guy.
Got to have a big get-back guy on the sideline, and, of course, you got to be behind a white line. It's painted out there in spots. All the players, all the coaches have to be behind that line. That time, Mount Vernon, the warning this time, and the next time it will be yardage given.
I got 2 perfect get-back guy candidates, Troy Medvick or Mark Goodhart. Ain't nobody messing with them. 11:15 to play in the first half. It's 7-0 as the Panthers looking to add to the lead. Well, there you have it.
They got it. Moving on.
Something along those lines. Out of the eye, it's going to be the quarterback, Marshall. Ooh, a nice little pitch.
Holy
near
cow.
side. Danley has some wide open room as he gets to midfield. Gardner gives chase, pulls him down at about the 41-yard line, and that is going to be a gain of about 23 on the ground.
I know one thing, and I'm not saying about the calls, but there was some calf roping going on out there in the wide receiver position. Their wide receiver and a Mount Vernon defender were going at it, and it looked like prom. There was jersey being held by both guys. I guess they let it go and called it neutral, but it ends up being a long run and a first down again for Washington. They're 6th of the ball game.
We knew this coming in. This could happen with the Marshall. Not the Marshall Panthers, but the Washington Panthers. Wrong political figure. Just outside of Peoria is Washington, up the river a ways. 10:54 to play in the second half. This is going to be Menoweather. Off tackle, trying to go up the gap. Gets past the 40 down to about the 39. It'll be a gain of about 3 or so to bring up second and roughly 7 with 10:43 to play in the first half.
Anybody, of course, notice their running backs talking about Washington. They keep their legs going. It seems like it takes multiple bodies to get them down. And, of course, you see right now on video the Mount Vernon Rams defense, hands on their hips, a lot of looking around going on. The white-hatted Washington Panthers offensive line controlling things right now.
There you go. Marshall under center. It's going to be pitched to Menoweather. He is stuck at about the 45. Halfback pass. Let's see what happens here. Jylen Rush got a piece of it, but lost it. It'll be an incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd and 7 as Jylen Rush somehow finagled it with his right hand but couldn't hang on. If he would have caught that, probably the most impressive interception we've seen.
Rush used his speed to get back into play. Remember I told you about the sniper passing attack that I described to Washington? There it was there. They had 11 guys in the box. They had Mount Vernon in their line of scrimmage. Had a pitch out to the right side. He had a tight end streaking down the middle of the field. Rush was able to get back using his speed because he was beat defensively.
10:14 left in the first half. 7-0 Washington on top. Each team has had 2 drives. This is the 3rd series for the Panthers. It'll be Miller split to the left side. On the right, it's Bodine. Out of the I formation, the quarterback Marshall is under center. Tailback is Danley. There's a flag.
That'll be another 5 on Mount Vernon. So instead of being about 3rd and 8, it'll be 3rd and 3, much more manageable for Washington on this possession.
Mackay is actually the tailback. My apologies, fullback has been Shoney most of the day. Chris Friend usually gets to start, but banged up slightly.
Well, this is not what you want to do with an offense that's rolling like Washington right now, simply running the football to give them extra yards, as that is the second penalty on Mount Vernon of the game there for 10 yards.
Washington has 2 shutouts this season, one against East Peoria and the other against Morton. Saw that one on the internet. Out of the eye again, Marshall under center. Ooh, I thought it was going to be play action at first. Instead, this one is going to be on a dive. Looks like it's incomplete, intended for the fullback, Schultz. So that'll bring up 4th and 2 now for the Panthers. That fell incomplete inside the 35 at about the 34. With 10-10 to play in the first half, still 7-0. The Ram defense, for all intents and purposes, has done the best it can.
And it has been, and of course, we'd like to welcome in at Shirts Rod, listening in on the way back from where he's been heading out, men's cross-country coach, listening to the Mount Vernon Rams. A lot of followers. We appreciate all their new followers and Facebook likes today as well at WMIX Sports. As Washington right now will call a timeout.
Probably a good time. It'll be brought to you by the Medicine Shop Pharmacy in Mount Vernon, 2339 Broadway. Dr. Eric Black and staff support the local community and wish the Rams the very best this season. And how amazing of a season it has been. Week 11 football action, second round of the IHSA 5A playoffs. Right now, with 10-10 to go in the second quarter, Washington leads Mount Vernon 7-0. We're shy of the top of the hour. We'll hold off on that for just a moment outside the window. Of course, Danny Czerwinski alongside. I'm Chris Hugo. We'll get some scores in just a moment, as we will all day long.
Staunton over Carlisle at 7-0 in the second quarter. And, of course, you move on down the road as I multitask. Robinson trailing Greenville 21-14. Mount Carmel over Carterville 21-13. Carterville scored a touchdown, missed the extra point on their second score of the day. Heron trails Altough 7-6, even though Heron's blocked the punt and a field goal in that ball game. Rochester over Mater Dei in the second, 13-0. And, of course, Jacksonville leads Normal High 21-14.
10-10 to play. We are in the first half. Second quarter action from J.D. Shields Memorial Stadium. The WMIX Sports Mobile Studios, driven by King City Chrysler Center, home of the Express Lane. Fast oil changes and more. No appointment necessary. Just stop on in at 1603 Broadway in Mount Vernon. Let's see. 4th and 2. Obviously going to go for it here. New receiver will be Dane Rose. Actually, he'll be tight to the left. And it's going to be the quarterback, Marshall, running it himself, has plenty of time to get right up the middle for a nice little gain. It was a roll-around option, and he went past the 30 to about the 29. Either way, more than enough for a first down with a gain of about 6 with 10 minutes to play in the half.
Rolled to the right side. The water's parted, as on the spread offense. Guys at defense are spread about the field, and that point there, boy, it was tough sledding for the Mount Vernon defense, and a lot of room for the quarterback from Washington to dart and go through and do what they wanted to do.
9:47 to go in the first half. Of course, this football game is presented by Community First Bank of the Heartland. We'll say more about them throughout the day. They are the voice of high school sports on WMIX. Going to be a handoff coming near side. That's going to be Danley. Has a wide open seam as he gets to the 20. Now up to the races. 15-10. Looking for the near corner. Inside for a touchdown as he gets inside the pylon. Make it 13-0 on the 28-yard touchdown run by Danley.
Yeah, that was just to the left side. Got loose, 28 more yards. He's getting close to that 100-yard mark already as Washington has scored again, and the domination starting to begin for the Panthers here on the road.
So we'll see what happens on the PAT attempt by Jake Miller. Point after attempt, so that's kind of unnecessary. Well, kind of like, never mind. Yep. You know where I'm going. Here comes
play drive for 65 yards.
Snap and hold were both good. It's going to be 14-0. That is the lead for the Panthers as they have marched into Mount Vernon. They're taking a 2-touchdown lead with 9:29 to go in the first half.
Now, 6 plays, 65 yards, 2 minutes, makes it 14-zip. And right now, Mount Vernon has no answer on defense, and that was something we feared as far as trying to stop Washington.
Of course, if you're looking for an award to recognize an individual team or other accomplishment, check out Winning Edge's fashionable line of plaques, trophies, medallions, glass, and acrylics. Visit winningedgeusa.com. Winning Edge, of course, serving Southern Illinois and Jefferson County. One of our Rams booster sponsors. 9:29 remains in this first half, and the Rams will get the ball here at least, trailing 14-0. See what we have as far as hands are concerned. Looks like the deep man's going to be C.J. Lloyd. Robert Grider will stand at about the 20. Miller Gray, the hyphen's probably going to go to be a deep man on the far side. Rush will stand at about the 25. Doug Gardner at about the 35. Far man is going to be Williamson at about the 40 as well. Then you have the hands up front. Hicken, Knutson, and Schubert are the ones I can see. Is this going to go far side? It looks like Washington's going to beat the Rams to it. And let's see what the official calls. He waits, so it looks like it went out of bounds. It'll be Ram football. So the Rams get a break there as Washington, for all intents and purposes, beat the Rams fair and square back to the football at the 35. Yikes.
And right now, Mount Vernon, as I said, you're going to go in some valleys here in this ball game. It's how you react to this. And right now, it is going to have to be a gut check here for Mount Vernon. They haven't been down in a lot of situations like this lately. Of course, Mount Carmel week 9, but this is a different beast here in Washington.
See what the Rams do out of their famed flex bone offense with the quarterback, Dylan Reeves, under center. Handoff is going to go to C.J. Lloyd, trying to go up the gut, but guess who's there? Not only does the line close, but the linebackers close in as well. Maybe a gain of 1. If they're fortunate, it'll be second and we're going to go ahead and say a no gain. 2nd and 10 with 9:15 to play in the half. 14-0 Washington.
And right now, C.J. Lloyd is down on one knee at the 36, and they have blown the whistle. They will have to come out and tend to him.
You can follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. We'll do our best to keep you up to date, not only in this game, but other games as well.
We appreciate those watching and or listening. A lot of people in both around the world watching. Friends in Washington, we say thank you.
Of course, it is just past the top of the 2 o'clock hour. This is WMIXSports.com Earth and WMIX FM Mount Vernon. Free services from Weathers Broadcasting.
Got to say hello to at JCOM91. Thanks for watching. Yes, watching us.
Whether you're picking up the mobile feed or your desktop feed, we're glad to have you online. Of course, we also have an audio-only feed for those who may be struggling with the bandwidth.
Well, right now, Eastside's up on normal 20-9. Unbelievable. SHG on Glenwood 42-7. That's 42 unanswered points for SHG in that one. Altoff now leads Heron late first half 14-6. So right now, Altoff's in the conference, but boy, south of 64, Altoff will be right now not much going here for Southern Illinois.
As Lloyd will limp off with some assistance from Kerry Hammond, the Rams athletics trainer. Kerry Hammond, of course, an ATC MS Ed of the Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois. They take care of your Rams, and of course, they help take care of us as one of our sponsors here this afternoon on your Rams Radio Network. It'll be the quarterback Reeves under center. Line going to be back slightly on 2nd and 9. The ball in the 36 inside the far hash. It's going to be a pitch to the near side. This will be to Montez Miller-Gray. Let's see if he can break for a run. As the line closes in, it's going to be his counterpart at running back Danley making the tackle, pushing him out of bounds. Wow, maybe a no gain.
Yeah, there's very little, if any, on that one. And boy, oh boy, right now, you cannot stretch the field on Washington. Their linebacking core is just too quick to go that far and to try to turn it up the field, and that time they closed and made the play for no gain.
With 8:40 to play in the first half, it's 14-0. Washington on top and threatening. 3rd and 8 for the Rams. Ball is on their own 37-yard line. Looks like it is just outside the near hash. Of course, can't see the hashes, so we're guessing. That's what you. Deal back to Montez Miller-Gray, or is that Ryder? It's actually going to be an inside handoff, but it's not going to matter because it's pulled from behind. The fumble will be picked up by, looks like that's Burns, picking it up at about the 35 and getting to the 40, out of bounds. It's about the 38 on the near sideline. So the Rams fumble the football and golf it right up to the Panthers. And the Cats are clawing their way to possibly an extraordinary lead.
Well, right now, that's not what you needed. Mount Vernon needed some first downs. They only have one in the entire game. And the ball came squirting out. A guy from behind a defender back-tapped it from behind. The ball comes squirting out. Turnover goes to Washington, and Mount Vernon needs a timeout to kind of gather themselves as their defense is back on the field once again. Right now, you need something major to go your way because with Washington in Rams territory now at the 38, and you gave up 21-0, it could be over very quickly.
Of course, your community, your choice, your bank with 5 locations and friends and neighbors on staff who understand your needs. Community First Bank keeps it simple. Welcome back to Personal Banking, member FDIC. Of course, 8:16 to go in the first half. It's 14-0. Washington on top. They will have the football. Looks like it's going to be at about the 37.
As of right now, Mount Carmel, Rochester, Altoff are all winning. And if you count Washington, you have 4 teams out of 10 on the Rams schedule in the quarterfinals if everything keeps going as is. But we hope that the Mount Vernon Rams can somehow come back.
Rams have not been into the quarterfinals since 2005, a team that went 11-1 to the 2005 Rams. 8:16 to play in the first half. Washington with the football. Tightening up on the left side will be Ben Inzaguri. Now in motion is going to be the fullback. Pitch is going to come to the left side for Danley. Does he find a seam as he gets to the sideline? Gets past the 35 down to about the 34. Stayed in bounds. Clock will roll. It's 14-0 Washington. They have the football in Rams territory after the Mount Vernon fumble with 8 minutes to play in the second quarter. If you're watching online, it's powered by Rinlake College. They offer over 100 degree and certificate programs for thousands less. See which is right for you with full descriptions at rlc.edu, and you can apply online while you're there. Tailback is Casey Danley. Came into today's game with 14-17 as far as yards. Now finds a seam on the pitch to the right side. Looking to cut to the outside at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Ooh, plows just short of the end zone. Fumbled the football. Is he down by contact? The ball is going to be down inside the 5, and this is going to be first and goal now on a run of about 28 yards by Danley or so. That's it on the spot. With 7:33 to play in the first half, it's 14-0 Washington, looking to change that in a hurry.
Yeah, that was a big run, and now Washington knocking on the door once again. I would expect quarterback keeper in this case on this particular play.
With 7:27 to go in the first half, and the Panthers are looking to take the Rams out of the game if they can. Power eye set here for Washington. The quarterback under center is going to be a handoff right up the middle. Looked like they got in up the left.
Mason Chalkley.
So Chalkley, who got plenty of carries against Morton, that game we watched, gets the touchdown here of 1 yard. That'll make it 20-0. Plenty of Rams fans in the house. Of course, a lot of folks made the trip down from Washington, about 3.5 hours away near Peoria.
3-play drive, 38 yards.
Of course, Coach Darryl Crouch is 69-27 over his 9 years, making the playoffs 7 times. So the PAT is good, make it 21-0. Rams trailing here in the first half, 7:11 to go.
And it's starting to get away here. Mount Vernon has to come out now, in this case, on this particular possession, and get some points their way. I mean, it's actually some first down. One step at a time, gain some yards, gain some first down.
Rich scores in the second chance auto halftime show. Probably have some updates prior to that, so you can stay tuned at the half. We'll have your weekly Ram report. We'll talk about some of the goings-on in Ram athletics. We'll also have your MVTHS minute. Hoping to keep that going into basketball. Hoping.
Well, right now, Mount Vernon, if you get knocked around like this, and you have got to stand up here. I said it in the pregame. There are going to be some valleys you're going to be in this game. This is the biggest one so far.
Here comes the kick. It's going to be on the ground, and we're going to have a flag.
Offside, Washington. They threw that immediately at the half. I had a gut feeling about this one, and I'm right.
Both kind of did.
Mount Carmel 28, Carterville 13.
I am not surprised by that one in the least bit. We saw how good the Aces were on a night that they proclaimed themselves to have had a really bad night.
Yeah, right. The Carterville team hasn't had a close game since week 2, and they beat Ogden at home.
They'll re-kick, and here it comes on the ground again. This one's going to be the outside pass, Williamson. It looks like it's going to be picked up left. I thought that was Green that ended up with it. Well, about the 39-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Rams. 7:10 to go in the first half. 21-0 is your Washington Panther lead.
Mount Vernon, 10 plays. Washington, 19 so far. Double the plays. Your defense is on the field. Mount Vernon needs some first downs, if anything, to give their defense a bit of a rest.
No kidding. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Rams from their own 39. Ball on the far hash. Put to the right side, of course. It'll be Jacoby Marshall. Left end will actually be tight for the Rams with, it looks like that is going to be Grider in motion. As Robert's going to get the carry, but before he can get to the line of scrimmage, he's brought down with authority.
Did you see the closing speed that time by number 5, Tanner Smith, coming from his safety position? it looked like Grider had full coverage to run down the field here and get yardage. He ran from about 30 yards away, sideways across the field, and made that tackle for the loss. What a play.
He is 6'6" and 225.
Wow.
Yeah, he's big. Thin, but big and agile and quick. 21-0 Panthers, 6:34 to play in the half. It's going to be Reeves dialing his own number. Nice little turnaround move there, coming left up the near hash, past the 40 on to about the 43. Maybe a gain of 5. It'll bring up 3rd and about 6 for the Rams, depending upon where the spot of the football actually rests. So make it about 3rd and 7. With 6:15 to play in the first half. 21-0 your score. Chris Hugo with Danny Czerwinski alongside on WMIX and WMIX FM.
Rams need some first downs. That's what you got to have. Little steps at a time.
I'm starting to change my mind about Saturday football. It's always a Friday night playoff guy type, but so enjoyable on a beautiful afternoon like this. It's going to be a carry to Gray up the left side. Can he break for some speed as he gets past midfield? On his feet, gets to the sideline at the 40. Pushed out at about the 39, maybe.
Much needed as he got around the left side. Nice block on the left side of the line from Grider on that left side that sprung to Montez Miller-Gray for that long run. And Mount Vernon gets into Washington territory, I believe, for the first time today.
So it'll be about an 18-yard gain for DMG. The hyphen is to Montez Miller-Gray. 21-0 to score. Washington on top with 5:42 to play, but the Rams are in Panther territory with the ball on the far hash at the 38. Gardner will be split to the right side. Looks like a wingback on the right, slot back on the left, as Reeves is going to fade it out to the near side for Gardner, who can't come up with a flag on the play. And that'll be pass interference, we assume, on Tyler Burns.
Had to be, because basically he ran down the field, face guarded the entire way, and when Marshall went up to try to catch Gardner tried to get up and catch the football, he just kind of held him, and that'll work out as a pass interference. It'll be 15 yards and a first down.
So that will actually take it to about the 23-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Rams. Not a spot foul. The yardage penalty with 5:38 to go in the first half. 21-0 Washington on top. Scoreboard updates this season are presented by Tony Wilton, State Farm Insurance. Tony would love to help your family with all of their insurance needs and financial services. Give Tony a call. Stop by his office. Of course, you can log on to TonyWilt.com or just look for the white State Farm Jeep around town. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. 5:38 to play in the half. Split to the right side. Jacoby Marshall. That is the way that Dylan Reeves is going to look. It's going to be completed about the 20. So gain of 3 thus far. Gets inside the 15 to maybe about the 12, which would be a gain of 11. Trying to watch the spot on the faded field with Jordan McGrath. Is that going to be first down yardage? It will. 11 through the air gives the Rams first down yardage with 5:31 to go in the half, still trailing 21-0.
It's another first down. It's exactly what you needed, and maybe Mount Vernon needs to do something a little different here. Change the plan a little bit. A score before half would change the demeanor of the team and the fans here on this side of the field.
Amen to that. On 1st and 10 from the 11, so they can get a first down without scoring. Nice, another turnaround move as Reeves rolled to the right.
Fumble.
And it's a fumbled football at about the 9. So the Rams shoot themselves in the foot here as they fumble the football again, and this will be 1st and 10 for the Panthers, leading 21-0 with 5:25 left to go in the second.
Mount Vernon has had 2 turnovers now. One of them scores, and you just feel the air out of the balloon on that one there.
Rams thought they had a great opportunity in front of them, having a 1st and 10 from the 11. It was a ball fumbled at the 8. That's where the Panthers pick it up. It'll be spotted just between the hashes with 5:25 left to play. And the Panthers have moved the football pretty well here in the first half.
And they come no huddle, of course. Into 1, Rochester over Mater Dei, 21-0.
Wow. It's a good Rochester team. Bodine will be split to the right.
Nobody on him. They couldn't get it to him. There, Mount Vernon got lucky that time. Mount Vernon had 11 guys in the box. The wide receiver was signaling with his hands to the quarterback, Marshall. Marshall threw it, just couldn't get it out to him, because if he could have got it out to him, it was going to be an 82-yard touchdown pass, because there was nobody within 20 yards of him out there split out to the right.
Bodine practically doing jumping jacks, trying to get the attention of his quarterback, Colton Marshall. Couldn't get the ball to him. The Rams did apply some pressure, but that would have been disastrous with 5:23 to go in the first half. So Marshall will keep things out of the eye. The tailback is Jimmy McCoy. And that's who's going to get the carry, trying to go up right, but runs into his own man, and then it runs right into the arms of Jacoby Marshall near the 13-yard line for a gain of about, now he's going to give him the full spot. That's going to be a gain of about 4 and bring up 3rd and 6.
And right now, it's just one of those things. They got Mount Vernon needs to stop, get in the halftime, down 21-0.
4:57 to play. Here we are, second quarter action from J.D. Shields Memorial Stadium. It's all brought to you by Community First Bank of the Heartland. Marshall will be under center out of the eye, split to the right side. It'll be Bodine. This is going to be a carry up the gut, but who got it? I didn't even see who the handoff went to. I think it might have been the fullback Shoney. If that's who got it, nope, it was going to be Middleweather. So he ran up the gut, but not for much. That's going to be 4th down and about 5 for Washington with 4:30 to go in this second quarter, up 21-0.
Well, they're up 3 scores. They may pooch punt out of this. They will pooch punt here. I see 63 going off. When 63 goes off for them, they usually punt. Just something I picked up on tape. Now's the time for a punt block if you got one.
It'll be Danley. And here it comes. Gardner is going to stand. He has the only punt returns this season for the Rams, and they won't get an effort. Yep, as that'll be picked up just past midfield, looks like by Paul Fields, at about the Ram 49-yard line. No, they're going to spot it right at midfield.
Yeah.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Rams. What on earth?
50 yards. And probably your best field position. In fact, it is your best field position of the first half. And with 4:05 left in this first half, it's time for Mount Vernon to start driving down the field and get something done that way. And right now you need some first downs and maybe some points before you go in the half.
Of course, the Rams trying to make something happen. Looked like a handoff to Hinkin, who just got past midfield to about the 49. Gain of 1 will bring up 2nd and 9. Clock will drop below the 4-minute mark here in the first half. Glad to have you with us, courtesy of Community First Bank of the Heartland. Home of the one account with high-yield interest, free checking. Just ask for one. Community First Bank, welcome back to personal banking. Member FDIC.
Crowds spread out everywhere. A lot of people starting to stand around the ropage here, trying to get a better view. What they've seen so far is Washington dominating, running the football.
Gardner will be tight to the right. It'll be a wingback on the right in the form of DeMontez Miller-Gray. Slot back left. That's going to be Grider in motion. This is going to be a sweep play up the right side. Grider to the 45. Runs into Marshall at about the 40. So that'll be a gain of about 6. That'll bring up 4th and short for the Rams with 3:18 to play in the half.
Well, it's important. Mount Vernon's got to have something positive to hang on to going in the half. Points would be perfect. And if not, then you just to get out down 3 scores. For our friends in Washington, Limestone and Highland are tied at 7 in the first quarter. As you keep track of the Mid-Illini Conference team.
Of course, the Rams get them the jump. We have a whistle, the play blown dead, and this is actually going to be offside and a first down for the Rams on the penalty.
Now Mount Vernon gets the first down. That's huge in itself. 4th one of the day for the Mount Vernon Rams.
Rams have a 1st and 10 for the Panthers 36-yard line with 3:18 remaining in the first half.
Ball will move to the Washington 36-yard line on the near hash. 1st and 10 for the Rams. It's going to be a quick pitch come to the right side for DeMontez Miller-Gray. Breaks the sideline and brought down by Danley. And Danley, who does a great job running the football, also a pretty established linebacker.
He does a good job bringing the heat, too. He brings the smoke and the lay lather on you. He's not afraid to drop those pads and knock you down. And right now, Mount Vernon, of course, with a couple timeouts. 3:12 to go in the first half in Washington territory again.
The Rams win. We're back at it next week. Same locations against the winner of Jacksonville and Normal U High. As Reeves is under center. Wingback set, make that a slot back on the left side. He's trying to roll to the left side. Kenny breaks for a run. Gets first down yardage, tips to the bounds at about the 20. So roughly a 14-yard gain by Dylan Reeves with 3:03 to play on an impressive scamper by the Ram quarterback.
And the excitement here from the orange and black below us here at the stadium. And, of course, Reeves with a great play. That was Dylan at quarterback. Clayton keeping stats right now. And, of course, he gets to the outside. A nice block on the outside covered for him. Allowed him to turn the corner at the 20 as time rolls with 3 minutes to go in. Our time stops 3 minutes to go in the first half.
I get the wrong one that time?
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay.
I was just giving Clayton a shout-out.
Gotcha. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 20 ball in the far hash. Put to the right side. It'll be Marshall. It's going to be a carry left. Oh, Miller Graves will be pushed back by his own man. Tried to make a cut for it back to the inside, but it'll lose a yard. It'll be 2nd and 11 at about the 19 with 2:54 to go in the first half. The Rams still trailing 21-0, but trying to make something happen here, trying to get back into the red zone.
Yeah, you can't stretch this defense too much because it's going to come back and haunt you pretty easy. Halftime, Jacksonville up 21-14. Winner of that game gets the winner of this one next week in the quarters.
Got to like that CS8.
They dominate some people if they're not careful.
CS10 next year, I believe. Under center to the quarterback, Reeves, foot left and right. In motion was Grider. They're going to look for the fade route at the flag. This will be caught by Doug Gardner for a 21-yard touchdown. And somehow Gardner beat the corner, got back to the end zone, and made the play. It will be the Rams' first score of the afternoon with 2:18 left to go in the first half.
That was beautiful. Reeves to Gardner, 21 yards on the touchdown pass. You got to feel like you have a little momentum as long as you can keep Washington from doing something here later on.
Rams should have the football to start the second half. It looks like Daniel Morrison in attendance. Of course, Lindenwood Belleville, I believe, is off today. Or thought so anyway. I thought this might have been a bye week for Lindenwood. If not, they were on the road, but that looks just like Daniel. A lot of dignitaries in attendance. Grinder's going to get the carry, trying to go sweep, and he will not get in the end zone with the 2-point attempt. Still to be 21-6. The Rams are down 15 with 2:18 left to go in this first half.
Well, that was important there. Reeves to Gardner on the 21-yard touchdown pass.
We've seen it time and time again this year, at least in Ram standards.
And Mount Vernon that time 50 yards on a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plays, and it lasted 2 minutes.
That is actually the 8th time this year that Doug Gardner and Dylan Reeves connected for a touchdown. The longest was a 50 yards way back when, but that is actually the 31st reception of the season for Doug Gardner. 2:18 to play in the first half. Chris Hugo with Danny Czerwinski alongside Avery Barton here in the WMIX Sports Mobile Studios. We're online at WMIXSports.com. Holly Carroll takes care of things on WMIX and WMIX FM. So glad to have those of you in Washington, glad to have those of you here in Mount Vernon, and glad to have those of you all points in between. So Reeves will kick off. Looks like back to receive is Jimmy McCauley. 2:18 to play in the first half, and here comes the kick. It's going to be on the ground. That was a nice diving stop up front at about the 43-yard line. We're going to be 1st and 10 for Washington with 2:16 to play. Got an email from a listener up north thanking me for not calling it Washington.
It's Washington.
Yes, we realize that.
Oh, yes. Right now, Washington's generally taking advantage of this game, 21-6.
Often thought this would actually be a good basketball matchup between these two teams. Washington's had some pretty good basketball years.
No doubt.
Now the ice set. Marshall, the quarterback. In their away whites with black pants, similar to the Rams away uniforms. Same colors. This is going to be Danley on a carry. Nice little counterplay as he gets to the line of scrimmage. Now makes a cut move to the midfield. Still has speed. He goes outside to about the 45 and brought down finally at about the 43-yard line.
10 carries, 6,000 yards this game. Just kidding. But again, Jukes left, Jukes right. Looks like a ghost out there. The Rams can't get a hand on him. It's like a ghost. You can't touch him.
He got about 13 on the play to give the Panthers a first down. It's 21-6 with 2:05 to play in the half. Again, plenty of dignitaries taking this one in this afternoon, and we're so glad to have all of them in attendance. So glad to have you on the radio or online, as we told you. Give us a follow on Twitter at WMIX Sports with 1:52 to go. Ooh, a nice inside handoff will be to McCauley. He gets past the 40 down to about the 38-yard line. Gain of 6. That'll make it second. Actually, maybe a gain of 7 to make 2nd and 3 with 1:40 to go in the half. But Washington not giving up, trying to get that extra score in, knowing the Rams will have the football to start the second half.
Yeah, and you need to stop them here if you're Mount Vernon.
Of course, if those asking about video archives, the video will be up after the season concludes. But if you're going to be looking for an opponent still active, those will be posted once they are done. Inside handoff will come to the fullback this time. That is going to be Shoney as he gets past the 35 down to about the 31-yard line. A gain of 7 will move the chains. 1st and 10 with a minute 15 left in the half. As Marshall and the Washington Panthers are rolling into Ram territory with, again, a minute 12 left to go in the half, up 21-6, looking to add to the lead. As Jones and Steele will come off for the Rams defensively, and this is going to be carrying up the right side. McCauley almost got it fresh to the downs. He broke to the outside far, gets about 9 on the carry, maybe.
Washington does a great job. They run 4, 5, 6 running backs at you. There's no way you can get fresh legs on them because they always have more fresh legs than you have with the deepness or the depth of their running back core.
Being told on our sister stations on the Saluki Sports Network, Mike Reese even addressing the patriotism of Washington at Mount Vernon.
Nice.
So everybody getting in on the fun. 53.9 seconds left here in the first half. It's 21-6, 2nd and 1 for the Panthers. That was a 9-yard run.
We want to tell everyone the referees are still wearing their hats. No powdered wigs involved out here.
As they are the judges of this game.
For some reason, we have an issue is looking at the referees, looking at the time. With only 53 seconds to go.
We're in the first half, 2nd and 1. 1:02 to go, apparently. That was the issue, I guess.
Yeah.
Be that as
the time ran off.
Got to give him time to get it on. Back on. Power eye now as they're going to go left side. Looks like it's going to be Danley on the carry, trying to race to the sideline, pass the 20 down to the 15. Can be Chase Marshall at the 10. Maybe to about the 11. So it's going to, either way, it's going to be first down yardage because they only needed 1 and got about 11 times that.
Yeah. Another first down as this team just continues to knock off chunks of yardage, and you feel good about getting a touchdown, and then Washington's figuring out ways to march it right down the field once again. And it's 1st and goal to go, maybe just outside the 10-yard line. So we'll see.
It looks like it will be 1st and goal. No need for a first down, just a score. As Danley's going to go right side. The Rams snipped it out. Miles Tate's going to back up the defense and get a nice tackle here. Slipped through the line initially in the secondary, who came up rushing. And with 48.4 seconds left, it's 21-6, but Marshall looking to threaten. It'll be 2nd down with 48.4 seconds left. And we deal with timeout Panthers. This timeout is presented by the Medicine Shop Pharmacy at 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon. For a second, I thought they didn't want the timeout. I was going to have to retract my words. But Dr. Eric Black and staff of the Medicine Shop proudly support the Rams and Lady Rams as well as all area teams.
Locally, it's not looking good. Staunton over Carlisle to have 7-0. Gillespie has an 8-0 lead over Carmike in a 1-8 zip. Greenville over Robinson, 21-14. Mount Carmel all over Carterville at half, 28-13. Alsop leads Heron at the half, 14-6. Rochester is up 28-0 in the second quarter on Mater Day. And also, it is Jacksonville over Normal U High, 21-14. But East St. Louis is winning. And, of course, Edwardsville kicks it off with at Bradley Bourbonnais at 3 o'clock.
We're on Twitter at WMIX Sports, Facebook under the same guys. This is WMIX Mount Vernon.
I take that back. 35-0 Rochester.
I got to redo that.
They're bound and determined to get back to the quarters.
Yes, they are.
3-time defending 4A state champ.
Let's make that WMIX FM Mount Vernon. Free services from Withers Broadcasting. Pitch to the right side. It's going to be a halfback pass. Nope, Danley pulls it down. Trying to come back to the near side. Has some running room. He's going to get to the 10. At the 5, looking near corner for the score. 12-yard touchdown run by Danley. Makes it 27-6.
Halfback pass was covered that time. Rolled to his right. Saw nothing. Turns it back the other way for his 3rd touchdown run of the ball game. Good read by the running back to pick all that up. And a halfback option, usually a high school kid will want to toss it. Didn't do it that time. What a great read by him.
38.5 ticks left. It's 27-6. On to attempt the point after is number 19, Jake Miller. Ooh, nice hold. Good snap, but it looks like it's good. Split the uprights. It'll be 28-6.
Well, that was 7 plays, 56 yards, and a minute 40 off the turn, actually, and it's now 28-6.
38.5 ticks to go on the first half clock, and that's one of those plays where it looks like, okay, the Rams going to score, get back within 15, maybe try to get a stop and go into halftime, but they get the additional score tacked on, so the Rams will have their work cut out for them for the remaining 38 seconds.
Yep. And you just had a little bit of life breathed into you with the touchdown, and Washington comes back and says, not so fast. And they take it down and score, and now Mount Vernon probably just wants to get the halftime down 28-6 and try to make some adjustments.
Woo-wee. What a game we have in front of us here from J.D. Shields Memorial Stadium, of course, with 5 Jefferson County branches and responsive quality service for all of your accounts. Community First Bank would like to be the first to say, welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC. Reflection up front will be picked up by Jylen Rush. He's going to make a nice spin move, trying to get to midfield as he picks it up at about the 38. And Jylen Rush will return the Rams back to the 50. It looked like it deflected off of the front row of hands. Ended up in the hands of Jylen Rush, who gets the return. It'll be 1st and 10 again at midfield with 34 seconds left.
Question will be, will you go and try to do something?
In the first half.
If not, you can take a knee and get to halftime. Carmi has scored. It's now 8-6. Second quarter, the Miners over the Bulldogs in White County to our east.
I don't know why. My mind immediately went to a different set of Miners. Wrong season.
That's big for Carmi to hold Gillespie to 8. They're like 250 points in not 10 weeks of play already.
Lincoln checking in. I'll get to that in just a moment. The carry is going to be up the left side, but Montez Miller-Gray gets a few on the play, maybe to about the 47 in Washington territory. With 25 seconds left.
Huddle here, Chris. They're trying to get some offense going here.
I'll call a timeout. Timeout's presented by the Medicine Shop Pharmacy at 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon. Dr. Eric Black, Tracy Adams, and staff, of course, congratulate the Rams on such a great season to this point. Hoping for it to continue, and they will lead you into basketball as well.
So you mentioned Washington's at Mount Vernon in Jefferson County. The winner gets to the quote-unquote quarterfinals. And you mentioned Lincoln is in on this?
Well, I'll tell you how Lincoln comes into play. Coach Ryan from Lincoln, of course, tuned in and congratulating the staff and players on an excellent season as well to this point, and hoping that they will get it going in the second half. Of course, Lincoln, Coach Shaner's former stomping ground.
Of course, the county south is Franklin.
Yeah. Washington County is actually to our left.
Those are our left.
Yeah, that map to the north.
West of Mount Vernon. For those of you from Washington or watching or listening around the state, as you got a lot of presidential and American historical figures mentioned.
George Clinton County.
That's Clinton. Yeah, well, that's the funk, yeah. Funky Fridays and other places.
As I like to joke.
Yes.
So it'll be Ram football, of course, at the 47 in Washington territory. Miller-Gray's in motion. Reed's going to look to pass. He's going to try to check it downfield. He's going to run for his life. He's at the 40. Dumps it off. Easy pickoff. And there is Doug Gardner having to switch from receiver to safety, as that is picked off by Mason Jockley, the 5'10", 190-pound linebacker who was helping out over the top.
That was not what they needed, and while there's 18 seconds to go, would Washington want to try something crazy here and get another score, or are they content to kneel and go into halftime up 28-6? We'll see what they do. Of course, they only have one timeout left by my count.
One timeout apiece here left in the first half. 28-6 to score. 1st and 10 now for Washington. The ball is on the near hash at their own 41-yard line. Quarterback under center, single back set, quick pitch. There's going to be a flag on the play as this is going to be the McCahey to the outside. Another flag, maybe a block at the back.
And a legal formation.
That's what I thought.
And you also have a hold out on the right side by a receiver. There was some prom dancing going on, a lot of material in hands. So the officials will congregate at the 40-yard line.
It's a 14-yard gain if it were to stand, and it shouldn't. Up the right side for Jimmy McCahey. But we do appreciate Coach Ryan from Lincoln tuned in.
Like you declined the holding penalty. You take the penalty of the illegal formation, and you move that back. That would get him to the 25, whereas the holding penalty would give him only about a 5-yard loss. Yep. There it is. That's declined. Oh, they're going to take the holding penalty and move it back. Okay, so what do I know? Interesting. But it's a 10-yard penalty on Washington. They're 4th of the game. They'll redo it again, but this time there's only 11 seconds left.
So the ball backs up to the 34-yard line inside the far hash.
If I'm Washington here, as well as you run the football in the pursuit of the Rams to one side or the other as quickly as they are, I'd run a double handoff here, maybe reverse, and see what Mount Vernon's defense does here if I'm Washington with their speed. Especially to the wide side over here.
Single back set. It's going to be another pitch. This time coming left side, Jimmy McCahey. As time will expire as it goes to about the 40-yard line. So it'll be a carry of 6, but that'll take us into the first half. After 2 quarters, the Washington Panthers 28, the Mount Vernon Rams 6. We'll come back with your Second Chance Auto halftime show in just a moment. We'll get you set with your Rams report, your MVTHS Mint, the latest in scores, as well as scoring and stats. It is halftime in the King City. We'll take a break. This is Rams football powered by Community First Bank.
This is Chase Landers with Landers Collision Centers. Sudden whack. You've just encountered your first deer hit. The left side of your vehicle is beat up pretty bad. The next thing I want you to imagine is very simple. Picking up your phone and dialing 1-888-LANDERS to set up your repair. Deer claims are common, and usually a very simple process, which fall under comprehensive coverage. This is Chase Landers asking you to allow Landers to be your collision repair shop of choice. Whether it be a deer hit, fender bender, or the regular, uh-oh, sorry mom, Landers is here for you whenever you need us. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. 1-888-LANDERS, that's 1-888-LANDERS.
Ren Lake College Theater presents Treasure Island. This swashbuckling stage adaptation incorporates plenty of comedy and includes all the adventures of Robert Louis Stevenson's classic tale. Enjoy nightly performances Thursday, November 7th through Saturday, November 9th, and a special Sunday matinee on November 10th. It's called a ridiculously funny version of the classic adventure tale. Tickets are just $12 through the RLC ticket office. Call the RLC box office at 437-4321, extension 1467.
The tradition of fine vehicles and great service continues at Second Chance Auto. They've been providing quality cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs for families like yours for over 33 years, and many are priced under $10,000. Plus, most have a 3-month or 3,000-mile warranty. Bank rate financing available with instant approval. No gimmicks, no pressure, just honest deals on great vehicles from your friends and neighbors at Second Chance Auto, living and contributing back to the community they serve. Located on Route 142 East in Mount Vernon, call 244-4582.
This is Mount Vernon Rams Football from WMIX Sports. The Second Chance Auto halftime show starts now.
We're back at J.D. Shields Memorial Stadium at the half. The Mount Vernon Rams trail the Washington Panthers 28-6. Chris Hugo with Danny Czerwinski alongside for your Second Chance Auto halftime show. Of course, Second Chance Auto, they've been around for a reason for 33 years. That's because they offer the largest selection in one location. No fancy sales gimmicks, no pressure. Just honest deals on great vehicles with bank rate financing for all. Again, a reason they've been here 33 years, sponsoring the Mount Vernon Rams along the way. See for yourself. Second Chance Auto, Route 142 East in Mount Vernon. Plenty more coming your way, of course, on our halftime extravaganza. We'll have the Rams report coming up in just a moment. We'll check in with Rams Athletics, see what's going on in terms of wrestling and basketball. Zake will be here before you know it. Girls basketball already here. So we'll check in with all of that in just a moment, of course. We'll also have your MVTHS Minute here in just a little bit, hoping to keep that going in to basketball season. We'll see what happens. But, of course, we will have that for you today. We'll check in with the best in arts and academics here at Mount Vernon Township High School, District number 201. We'll also have another Tony Wilkes scoreboard update. We'll check in with some area scores. We will also have your scoring and stats. It's all coming up for J.D. Shields Memorial Stadium. We're here at the half. The Mount Vernon Rams trail the Washington Panthers 28-6. So all of that and more after the break. This is Rams football from WMIX Sports.
Learn to live healthy, learn to live well, and learn how you can live free from unexpected medical expense with a major medical expense policy from Pekin Insurance and the Page Agency. Health insurance that covers hospital, medical, and surgical expenses offers a wide choice of deductibles and a non-tobacco user discount, too. Rising medical costs don't have to be a problem with a major medical expense policy from Pekin Insurance. This is coverage we hope you'll never need, but you just can't be without. Call the Page Agency at 242-7000 about a major medical health insurance plan today.
Bad credit, no problem. Auto Mart of Salem is here to help. Auto Mart of Salem is your local shop here, pay here headquarters. Quality cars, vans, SUVs, and trucks in stock now. All credit applications are accepted. Shop here and pay here at Auto Mart of Salem, 1819 West Main, Salem, Illinois. Shop online at automartofsalem.com or call us at 618-548-8611.
This is Rick Pig with Community First Bank. You're listening to the Rams on WMIX.
Welcome back
to the Second Chance Auto halftime show. I'm Avery Barton with the Rams report. I said that wrong. Welcome back to the Second Chance Auto halftime show with the Rams report. I'm Avery Barton for WMIX Sports. Cross country wraps up today with the IHSA State Finals in Detweiler Park in Peoria. The running Rams' David Motter advanced to state after an 8th-place individual finish in last week's Decatur sectional. Lady Rams basketball began official practices this past Monday. The Lady Rams were South 7 Conference champions last season and return with a nice nucleus. They will open the season at the Nashville tournament the week of Thanksgiving. Mount Vernon Rams basketball and Rams wrestling will both begin official practices Monday. That's your Rams report for this week, and this is Rams football, powered by Community First Bank.
Hi, this is Joe Davey Cummins, President of Community First Bank. Now is a great time to move your account to Community First Bank. With our new One account offering the highest interest rate in the market, free checking, and CD specials delivered by people you know and trust, why would you not bank with the market leader in Jefferson County? We offer 5 locations with 7 ATMs and have been serving the Jefferson County market since 1906. Stop in and see why our bank is the fastest growing bank in Jefferson County. Community First Bank. Welcome back to personal banking. Member FDIC.
This is Chase Landers with Landers Collision Centers. Imagine this. You're driving down the road. It's dark as can be outside. Thank goodness you just had that left headlight bulb replaced. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to see a thing. Now, close your eyes. Okay, don't close your eyes. You're supposed to be driving. Imagine noticing a slight twinkle off to the left, just above the ditch. What is that, you think to yourself? All of a sudden, whap! You've just encountered your first deer hit. The left side of your vehicle is beat up pretty bad. The next thing I want you to imagine is very simple. Picking up your phone and dialing 1-888-LANDERS to set up your repair. Deer claims are common, and usually a very simple process, which fall under comprehensive coverage. This is Chase Landers, asking you to allow Landers to be your collision repair shop of choice. Whether it be a deer hit, fender bender, or the regular, uh-oh, sorry mom, Landers is here for you whenever you need us. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. 1-888-LANDERS. That's 1-888-LANDERS.
Streaming worldwide at WMIXSports.com. This is Mount Vernon Rams Football from WMIX Sports.
And we're back at J.D. Shields Memorial Stadium on your Second Chance Auto halftime show. We hope you enjoyed the Rams report today. Of course, we remind you, Sean Doherty in attendance. His wrestling Rams get started officially on Monday. Scott Gamber, the PA, as you heard, of course, in the Rams report. Men's basketball gets fired up on Monday. Girls basketball will be a week strong by the time Monday rolls around. Lady Rams will start their season on Monday, or actually the week of the 25th at the Nashville Invitational Tournament. We'll get some pairings to you a little bit later on. But, of course, Rams basketball's first game will be on November the 25th against the Marion Wildcats to open the season at the Pyramid Plus Tournament in Heron. We'll have that game for you on WMIX-FM, video at WMIXSports.com with a 7 p.m. tip-off and roughly a 6:45 pregame. But hopefully by that time, Rams football is still going strong. Right now they trail 28-6 to Washington at the half on your Second Chance Auto halftime show. In D.C., I think the scoring and stats will tell the tale of the tape.
Well, it is going to tell the tale of the tape, that's for sure. First downs were doubled. Washington 12. Mount Vernon had 6. The Rams had 3 turnovers to the Panthers 1. Penalties, Mount Vernon 2 for 10. Washington 4 for 35 yards. In the rushing department, Mount Vernon has 56 yards total. And, of course, Washington 244. The Rams have 33 yards passing to 8 for the Panthers. So if you're keeping track, or unofficial, as I call them because they're unofficial when I keep them, Mount Vernon has 89 total yards. Washington has 253. Give you a halftime score of Washington 28, Mount Vernon 6.
There you go. There are your scoring and stats. And this is your Second Chance Auto halftime show. Second Chance Auto, of course, on Route 142 East in Mount Vernon, has the largest selection of pre-owned vehicles priced at $10,000 in one location. No fancy sales or gimmicks, just honest deals and bank rate financing for all. That is why they have been around for 33 years. Second Chance Auto, again, Route 142 East in Mount Vernon, continued supporters of the Mount Vernon Rams. So before we get to your MVTHS Minute, talk about what's going on around Mount Vernon Township High School, District 201. You look at the first half, you look at what Washington has been able to do on the ground, and we knew that coming in, and that would be not really a difference in this ball game, but it would be what would set the tone in this ball game. And the tone has belonged to the Panthers. It's been ringing the tune of the Panthers this entire time.
Well, it has, and that's, of course, they've been able to move the football. Mount Vernon hasn't been able to stop it as much, and unfortunately, they find themselves down at the half, 28-6. Not too impossible to come back from, but boy, you don't want to get down any further than this. That's for sure.
Well, we'll see what the Rams are able to do. They will have the football to start the second half, though they trailed 28-6. We'll take a break, and when we come back, Avery Barton will have your MVTHS Minute. You're on your Second Chance Auto halftime show. This is Rams football from WMIX Sports.
I'm Jeremy Pearson with a look at your next rad weather. Bright sunshine and milder today, high 63. Clear tonight, low 35. Plenty of sunshine and cooler tomorrow, high 54. And your Veterans Day will be breezy with increasing cloudiness, high 58. There could be a shower later that evening. And Tuesday will be much cooler, high 41. Next rad weather from WMIX, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
What does technology sound like? Is it the clang of heavy machinery, the beeps and chirps of an electronic gadget? At the new Good Samaritan Regional Health Center, technology sounds a little something like this.
It's the sound of a young girl excited because her mom's being released the same day as her minimally invasive surgery. Thanks to the Da Vinci surgical robot, our surgeons' hand motions are seamlessly translated into smaller, more precise movements. But surgery isn't the only way Good Samaritan is raising the bar for advanced healthcare in Southern Illinois.
That's the sound of a patient's health record being updated and stored electronically for immediate access by nurses, primary care doctors, and specialists alike. That's why soon, the new Good Samaritan Regional Health Center will use all electronic patient health records. Less paper translates to faster, better care for you. And that sounds a little something like this.
The new Good Samaritan Regional Health Center, raising a hospital, raising the bar.
At Vanterra, we understand that banking is a relationship. It's a friendly face that knows your name, understands your needs, supports your goals. Vanterra offers a complete range of personal and business banking products with competitive rates and loans that range from small projects to multi-million-dollar opportunities. We offer conveniences such as online banking, mobile banking, and direct deposit. For a strong community bank with exceptional customer service, Vanterra is a smart choice for your banking needs. Vanterra Bank, a proud supporter of Southern Illinois high school sports. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back to the Second Chance Auto Halftime Show. I'm Avery Barton on WMIX and WMIXSports.com. Get honest deals and bank rate financing at Second Chance Auto. They're your home for the largest selection of pre-owned vehicles under $10,000. Second Chance Auto, Route 142 East in Mount Vernon. Now, here's a look at your MVTHS Minute. Congratulations to the October MVTHS Student of the Month, freshman Danielle Barcheski. Danielle was chosen due to her upbeat and friendly personality, who is always smiling at the world around her. Danielle graduated from St. Mary's School, where she began her athletic career in 6th grade as a softball pitcher and plans on pitching for the Lady Rams. Danielle has adjusted well to the change of culture from a smaller school to a larger atmosphere. After high school, Danielle would like to go into the medical field, although specifics are undecided as of yet. She hopes to attend the University of Kentucky, where she plans to own her own chinchilla. Congratulations to Danielle Barcheski. She's the October MVTHS Student of the Month, and that's this week's MVTHS Minute, where WMIX Sports explores the best in arts and academics at Mount Vernon Township High School. Stay tuned for next week's installment. We'll take a break. This is Rams Football from WMIX Sports.
Have you ever been traveling out of town and realized you needed cash? Using another bank's ATM can cost you a few extra dollars in fees to get the cash you need. Not anymore. People's National Bank introduces MoneyPass. MoneyPass allows you to use over 23,000 additional ATMs in the United States without any fees. Stop by People's National Bank, visit peoplesnationalbank.com or moneypass.com to find out more information. People's National Bank, serving Southern Illinois since 1909, member FDIC.
High school sports are back, and your source for scores is WMIXSports.com. Also, find archived local sports broadcasts, video highlights, national sports headlines, and more right at your fingertips. Listen and watch live WMIX sports broadcasts from your desktop or any mobile device. Need a score? Want to see a sick dunk? Miss a game? Didn't get up in time for the Saturday sports show? That's right, it's all at WMIXSports.com. Another free service from Withers Broadcasting, WMIXSports.com. Back to Mount Vernon Rams Football, powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland.
And we welcome you back for your Second Chance Auto Halftime Show. Chris Hugo with Yanni Czerwinski alongside. And the Mount Vernon Rams trail the Washington Panthers by a score of 28-6 here at the break. But we have plenty of scores rolling in from around the area.
Well, there's lots of scores going on, and the fourth quarter with 6 to go. Carlisle leads Staunton 14-13. Then, of course, it is at near the half. Gillespie leads Carmi 16-6. Robinson trails Greenville on the road 42-14. That's in the third quarter. Mount Carmel all over Carterville in the third, 35-13. That's at Carterville. Altop leads Heron at the end of 3, 21-6. Rochester leads Mater Dei at half, 42-6. and Jacksonville leads Normal U High 21-14. That is at the half.
There you go. Those scores and more presented by Tony Wilt, State Farm Insurance. Tony would love to help your family with all of their insurance needs. Give Tony a call in his office. Look for him online at TonyWilt.com. Or try to find the white State Farm Jeep around town and just driving us to another score.
I apologize. It is now Mount Carmel 42, Carterville 13. Reese Metcalf has his third rushing touchdown of the game.
I think that silence is the tone of a lot of stunned people who thought Carterville would probably make a deep run into the postseason and possibly be in the South's best chance. But only they saw the Mount Carmel, the Golden Aces, possibly dropping the 3A if that wasn't the case. And they are up right now at the half. Meanwhile, Washington is up here at the half again, 28-6 over your Mount Vernon Rams. And undefeated for a reason. Great running game, great defensive line, great linebacking core that can really close the gaps. And as far as the first half's concerned, that's been the difference.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That is the thing right now. And, of course, Mount Vernon's got to find some difference on defense to stop what is going on and to stop the running game. And right now, if you don't stop the running game, it's not going to be any time an advantage for Mount Vernon.
There we go. Glad to have our listeners tuned in and video watchers tuned in from Washington. It is not McCaughey. It is McKay.
Okay.
So we will make note of that and very appreciative of knowing that because that is a pet peeve of mine, is not getting things like that right. So, McKay, thank you very much. And there we go. We're about a minute 46 away from the start of the second half. The Rams will actually have the football. And, of course, Rams football is presented by Community First Bank of the Heartland. They welcome you back to personal banking. In fact, they are the market leader here in Jefferson County. Community First Bank has 5 Jefferson County locations, 2 in Mount Vernon, Dix, Woodlawn, and Ina. Welcome back to personal banking. Member FDIC. You can follow us on Twitter to stay up to date from the games of our concern at WMIX Sports. Try to do what we can to promote high school athletics on the Twitterverse, as well as on Facebook and worldwide at WMIXsports.com.
Well, for our Southern Illinois fans, I mean, you're looking at Carterville, Carmi, Heron, and Mount Vernon all looking up. And we mentioned it this morning on the Saturday Sports, and we mentioned it now. It is definitely not something that we thought could happen today. Is all the teams that are in our 3-conference area that we talk a little more about than others could all be done after today.
Of course, you may have to look to Missouri and Indiana in jest for your Southern Illinois playoff viewing needs.
Well, you have Mount Carmel, Robinson, Althoff, of course, South 7 to be available, but boy, Althoff, Rochester next week. That'll be at Rochester, it looks like. So
East side, maybe. They're rolling today.
Yeah, you got to hope Edwardsville wins.
Yeah. And here comes the kick to open the second half, and this will be a chip shot. Ryder's going to have some trouble with it off of the hop. This one will be off of the feet of the Rams. It looks like Washington will get to it. So it bounces over. It takes a wild hop over the baseball glove of Robert Grider, and Doug Gardner can't catch up with it. Nobody can get there but the Panthers, and that is not how you wanted the second half to start for the Rams.
The old cookie crumbling the wrong way. That is for sure. Wow. Just can't. Yeah, Mount Vernon cannot catch a break. Man, oh man. And you feel like right now one more score may just put this out of reach if Washington can punch it in here.
Let's see what they're able to do. Looking for a fade route for Bodine. It makes a fingertip grab, somehow hangs on at the near sideline inside the 2-yard line with 11:48 to go in the third quarter. And the Panthers threatening early in the third.
Second completed pass for Washington in the ball game goes for a first down, first and goal to go, and what a big play for Washington.
Had to take care of that one. Send a thank you note right quick. And there we go. And they are going to get this one in easily out from the 2-yard line on the near hash. Just a nice little pounded up the middle run, and that is going to give the Panthers a 34-6 lead now, as we are just underway in the second half.
That didn't take long.
That's why they're undefeated.
And you can see why up there in Washington in that Mid-Illini conference. They've been pretty good.
Let's see what happens. Wow, it's going to be wide. So it'll be 34-6 with 11:32 to go. Washington on top of this. Daniel Morrison in the stands. His lovely mother just informed me. Doesn't travel with the varsity squad just yet. They're actually, I believe, at Missouri Southern in Joplin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, I remember looking that up.
What's the bad deal going on down there? They lost, I believe it was their offensive line coach was gunned down outside of theater.
Yeah.
At Missouri Southern. Well, there's some local ties basketball-wise. Am I wrong? Is it Missouri Southern?
Yep.
Coach Korn?
Coach Korn. 34-6. And you just cannot fathom this Washington team, how good they are. We saw it on film.
Well, if the Rams can't get it together, get some scoring going rather quickly, they're going to be getting the basketballs out, or they're all going to be getting the basketballs out on Monday.
Everybody's getting basketballs out Monday. It just depends on whether or not you're there.
Understand the Rams will be first getting them out at 9 in the morning with the school holiday.
Reese Metcalf has 3 touchdowns running from Mount Carmel, 300 yards passing.
Another kickoff, another bit of turmoil for the Rams as C.J. Lloyd has to dive on it, heading out of bounds up the near sideline at about the 34-yard line, where the Rams will have it first and 10. 34-6, Washington on top, looking for a date with either Jacksonville or Normal U-High. And if I didn't have goings on next week, if the Rams are out of the season, then a possible Jacksonville-Washington game would get my attention.
Yeah.
Hoping for
Edwardsville gets a win. They may play a Friday nighter. Who knows?
Hoping for a Rams date next week. Is this going to be an inside handoff? Nope, going to the outside. It will be DeMontez Miller-Gray, and that's what we talked about. Stanley in that linebacking core, shutting down the gaps with that speed, that blazing speed. It'll be 2nd and 10 now for the Rams with the no-gainer with 11:13 to play in the third quarter.
And right now, Jacksonville leads U-High 21-20 in the third quarter. As Normal U-High scored, but the PAT was blocked.
Interesting. Interesting indeed. Glad to have the Facebook edition. Thank you for the kind words. 10:50 to play in the third. It's 34-6. Flex bone for the Rams. Inside handoff to the fullback, Graham Hemken, who finds some running room. Opened up a gap of his own as he got, and pardon us, looks like it's about the 41-yard line on this dormant grass and the sun shining brightly. A little bit difficult to see the yardage markers. 34-6 Panthers. Out of the Mid-Illini Conference, they are the champions. Were the champions. Well, still are the champions. So I guess the end of the season is 2014. Depending upon what would happen. So at 10:19 to go in the third, will be 3rd and 3 for the Rams from their own 42. Reeves under center, in motion, Miller-Gray. Inside handoff will be Graham Hemken again. Gets to about the 45-yard line. Looks like he might have the necessary 3. Yes, he's on the opposite side. And that would be the Rams' first down of this second half with 10:07 left, trailing 34-6.
Well, Mount Vernon needed that, that's for sure. And Mount Vernon's got to get something going.
Top of the 3 o'clock hour, WMIX, Mount Vernon. WMIX FM. That's where I'm struggling today. So we'll do that again and make it legal. WMIX FM, Mount Vernon, Marion Effingham, Withers Broadcasting Superstations. 9:50 to play in the third quarter. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 46. Pitch to the right side. It looks like DMG on the run. Past midfield. Gets to about the 49. So they're going to go ahead and give that a gain of about 5. It'll bring up 2nd and a nickel here with 9:33 to go in the third quarter. Video on WMIXSports.com, presented by Rend Lake College. Save thousands of dollars on your college education at Rend Lake College. Log on to rlc.edu to find out how.
Carterville down 42-13. It's into 3, and it's Robin looking like a Greenville, Mount Carmel, round 3.
That'll be interesting. As Reeves is rolling out the pass to the near side. Now he's back in faraway lands. He was back behind the Mount Vernon 40. He's going to throw it away, and a wise move will make it 3rd and 5.
That's at the receiver. First of all, right-handed quarterback rolling to your left with a defender chasing you on your right side is not going to allow you to throw the football where you want. And that time, the receiver was there, but you just can't throw the football rolling a guy out like that to the left.
So with 9:04 to go, it's 3rd and 5 from the Washington 49-yard line. Say about our sponsors, of course, over the duration of this second half of high school football. It's week 11, the second round of the IHSA Class 5A postseason. Reeves, the quarterback, will be under center. Two backs to the left, one to the right, split to the right side. Jacoby Marshall, C.J. Lloyd in motion. This could be a sweep play to the right side. Trying to get to the sideline, trying to dive forward now. Past the 45 to about the 44 is where the footsteps will take it. That'd be a gain of right about 5 yards. We'll see if it's enough for the Rams. And where they stand, that's where it looks like it's going to be. They got a nice spot there.
Yeah, nice home spot. Did get the first down. Turned the corner, lowered the pads, ran that secondary guy over. Nothing wrong with that.
That was one good play. Make your own great play when you open a Community First Bank free high-yield checking account that earns cash back. Just ask for one. Member FDIC. 1st and 10 for the Rams on the far hash at the Washington 44. Reeves going to come to the left side. Not necessarily rolling this time, trying to make a run for it, and he'll lose about 3 on the play. Pushed out of bounds behind the 45 at about the 46-47.
Yeah.
Not sure if that was a broken play or by design, but it did not work out for the Rams that time. 34-6 to score. Washington up 4 touchdowns.
Nice. That's all the message. Thank you very much. Glad we can help you out here on Facebook.
Appreciate kind words. Yes. Appreciate everything. Appreciate any type of feedback. Got some emails earlier. With 8:05 to play, we're in the third quarter, 34-6 to score. Washington on top, Rams in Washington territory. Quick snap's going to be an inside handoff to Hickett. He's going to try to find a seam at about the 40. Brought down, maybe they're going to spot it at the 40.5, so more like the 41, where it'll be third down and about 7 or so for the Rams with 7:46 to play in the third quarter. How about them WMIX Sports Mobile Studios driven by Foursquare? See their selection in person at 1501 Broadway or log on to Foursquare.com where you can also schedule your next service appointment. 3rd and 8 for the Rams. Ball on the 40 near hash. In Washington territory with Reeves at their center. Split to the left, Gardner on the right. It's going to be Marshall. 2 slot backs and the fullback. This is going to be a quick pass to Gardner, and he'll fall to a knee as he slips just outside of the 35-yard line. That'll make it 4th and about 2 or 3 here for the Rams with 7:10 to play in the third, and you would assume going for it.
Been behind the proverbial 8 ball all day, seems like. Althoff up 21-14 in the fourth with about 4 to go.
6:47 to go in the third. 4th and 3 for the Rams. The ball is on the Washington 36. C.J. Lloyd is going to be in motion. Let's see. They're trying to get him to jump. The play clock is at 1. And the Rams are going to have to call a timeout. This timeout is presented by the Medicine Shop Pharmacy at 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon. Dr. Eric Black and staff proud to support the Rams, as well as the local community. The Medicine Shop Pharmacy in Mount Vernon.
Second round. And you're looking at 4 more teams from the 3, River to River, Black Diamond, and South 7 going out. Althoff will be the remaining team. Of course, Mount Carmel is close. Mater Dei not going to be playing next week. It is a tough 2 weekends, and we said this middle of the year. If everything handed out right, it could happen. And right now, that 4 teams in trouble.
Right now, the Rams obviously one of those teams. It's 34-6 Panthers. 6:37 to go in the third. Thank you for tuning in on WMIX or watching online at WMIXsports.com. We're on the AM and FM today. Would be next week if the Rams were able to pull off a comeback attempt. It's 4th and 3 from the Washington 36. Miller Gray in motion. It's going to be a counter play to C.J. Lloyd. Finds some running room up the middle. The Rams are going to get more than enough as this tumbles to about the 20-yard line. Between the hashes, looks like C.J. had stumbled at about the 30 and gotten 10 more yards in the play. So a gain of about 16 if it's
Hold on.
20, but there is a flag. I didn't see it.
At the 25. We'll see what happens here. There was a Marshall Washington defender with a hat off, as in a helmet, football speak. And the flag was thrown, but we're not sure if that's what it's going to be. It is on Washington, so first down Rams.
The Rams will have more than enough, and here comes the TV up the old stairs. Maybe this is our
winner.
The Smart TV. You can watch us online on a Smart TV, in case you didn't know that.
1980 is the winning share at Carterville 50-50.
So our correspondent, get it? Is he going to retire?
No, another one tweeted it, so.
6:30 to play. Third quarter, the Rams have it 1st and 10. Oh, 1st and goal, my apologies. Didn't see the spot was at the 10. This is going to be a handoff to Miller Gray coming from right to left, trying to get to the sideline as he beat the defense back inside the byline for a touchdown. And the hyphen puts an exclamation point on the 10-yard touchdown run. Brings the Rams some life, down 34-12.
Just a little sweep to the outside. Touchdown Rams. That gives a little life back into the lies and lies of Mount Vernon Rams on the 10-yard touchdown run.
That was more than a good play. That was one great play. Make your own great play when you open a Community First Bank free high-yield checking account. That's earns cash back. Just ask for one at Community First Bank of the Heartland. Welcome back to Personal Banking. The Rams go for two. It's going to be a fade flag pattern. Just out of reach for Doug Gardner, and it'll remain 34-12 on the failed PAT.
Well, on that particular drive, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plays, 50, 66 yards in 5 minutes. And it remains 34-12.
Today, winning 50-50 tickets.
But this one goes for a bit.
Today's winner will receive half of the pot, which is
half of what? Oh.
Only $504 here. We got a long way to go to catch Carterville.
Yeah, but you get a TV out of the deal.
Oh, you get a TV as well. Samsung 32-inch. Very nice TV. LED, we're talking. So if you aren't here, you made a crucial mistake. You could have driven up the 50-50 pot for yourself and gotten a very lovely TV. HDMI capable, obviously. It's this HD TV. The Samsung, that's the official TV of the NFL. You can't beat that. Right. Yeah. Yeah, because Sony's the official TV of Peyton Manning. This is Samsung's official TV of the NFL. That's why I bought mine. 6:17 to play in the third quarter. All that aside, it's 34-12. The Panthers will get the football, have the lead. It's going to be a kick on the ground. And here's what I like about the Panthers is they fall on it about the 36, trying to get the number. It looks like that was Bryson Miller who fell on it, but I like their hands and how they're able to. They look like middle infielders out there on the kickoff on the ground, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, they fall on it, too. That helps when you fall on things. You don't let the ball bounce around, rattle around, and whatever else. You get on the football, and that's the way it goes. And that's what they need to do.
226s on the roster. Hope I got the right one with Bryson Miller. He's older, so that is going to be the assumption there, but you can't assume on special teams. 6:15 to play in the third quarter. 1st and 10 for the Panthers from their own 38. It's on the near hash, offset I. Handoff is going to go to Danley up the left. It looks like a Ram routed tackle, but Danley's going to break it. Tyus will have to get chase in midfield as he's outside the sideline. He's at the 30, 25, 15, 10, touchdown. And no flags means it's a 62-yard touchdown run by Casey Danley to make it 40-12.
Wow. And how many is that today for Mr. Danley? That would be 4. Wow. And nobody touched him. 62 yards. Bang, done. Thank you for coming. Good night. On that run to the outside, beat everybody, and he was gone down the sidelines. Wow. That did not take very long.
No, it didn't. Here comes the PAT. It looks like that's going to sneak inside the far upright, but it sneaks outside. Don't go with my depth perception. It's 40-12. So a 28-point game, and it's the Rams strike. Washington counters with 6:02 left in the third quarter.
In the winning 50-50 ticket number is 622-946.
Like a $2 steak.
Yeah.
The Rams will get the football down 28. It's 40-12. 6:02 left to go in this third quarter. You can follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. We're on Facebook as well, or you can email us in the booth at WMIXsports@mywithersradio.com.
And Rochester up 49-6.
This just in, Rochester's good.
Yeah, and they graduated a ton of talent. East Side's up 38-16, friends of ours on that game. SHG beat Glenwood 55-7.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So, and Altos up on Mount Carmel's up on Carterville 42-20. That is with 9:13 to go as the Golden Aces are going to finish off Carterville's undefeated run.
course, this will be on the ground again. Green will give chase. Who wants it? Between him and Miller Gray, Green's going to run backward.
My goodness.
Inside the 20 at about the 16. Let's see where they spot the football for real, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Panthers.
How good is Tanner Smith? My goodness, that kid's everywhere.
He's 6'6", 225 and speedy. That's got to be attractive in some sort of sport college, I think. Wow.
We're getting reports. Carmi trails at the half 16-12 to Gillespie. More importantly, Chase Saylor is out with a concussion.
Oh, no.
So Carmi's chances in that one have been severely hampered with that young man out of the ball game.
So it'll be a quick handoff coming to Miller Gray as he runs left. He finds a nice little seam, though, as I can't read the yardage marker. At about the 30 is where he'll go for a gain of maybe about 13. If it holds, and that's where the spot is, it looks like the chains are going to move, so it is 1st and 10. Again, dormant grass and white writing don't always mix here in November, and with the sun shining down on this field, we'll do our best to tell you the spot on the field. 5:50 to go in the third quarter, 40-12. The Rams trailing by 28. Clearly need 4 touchdowns. What's the left side will be Gardner on the right. Flexbone offense for the Rams. Reeves is under center. A couple of slot backs and a fullback. In motion, Lloyd. Going to be a counterplay, a nice counterplay to Miller Gray, trying to get up the middle between the hashes. There's some extracurriculars going on in front of us at the 40, which is where the football will be, I believe, or about the 39. Nope. That must have been a nice dive, and not such a great spot. It's actually going to be spotted at about the 37.
Well, it is what it is. Mount Vernon needs to get something going, and hopefully that will happen here.
We'll see. 2 slot backs, split right, split left for the quarterback, Dylan Reeves, the junior quarterback. C.J. Lloyd, one of the backs, he'll be in motion. It's going to be a handoff to Graham Hinkin. The fullback will carry it past the 40 as he lunges forward to about the 41. Looks like that's where they're going to get the spot for a 4-yard gain and a first down.
And we think Mount Vernon gets that first down, moves the chains, and we thank Joe Bullard for listening. In Washington, he tells us that Casey Danley is now the all-time leading rusher for a season in Washington history. Thanks for that message on Facebook at facebook.com/WMIX Sports.
Thank you for the tidbit.
And the compliment as well, very complimentary of our broadcast.
And a record-breaking year on the ground for these Panthers out of the Mid-Illini. 4:55 to go in the third. Reeves looking for the quick pass. It's going to be a lob, and it's going to be overthrown as the nearest guy was Gardner at the 40. The pass went to the 35, and incomplete pass will stop the clock with 4:49 to go in the third. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Rams from their own 41-yard line.
Last call. Nobody's got the 50-50 ticket.
Have to go last call. I would be up here lickety. Well, I'm already here, but
U High now up 28-21. Touchdown, 2-point conversion in the fourth.
Here comes Doug Creel up here. Maybe it's his win.
No. You
never know.
He's serious. He hasn't shaved in a while.
Well, he's not going to shave till the season's done, I understand. This is going to be a sweep play. Lloyd from left to right. Going to have to get upfield somehow if he wants a chance to shake some tackles as he gets to the 46. They're having a spot at the 45, however, to bring up third.
He looked like he ran 25 to get 4 on that play. East St. Louis moves on. They beat Normal Community 38-16. So I'm sure that crew will be listening. Running clock, Rochester all over Mater Dei, 49-6.
Of course, it's your community, your choice, your bank, with 5 locations and friends and neighbors on staff who understand your needs. City First Bank keeps it simple. Welcome back to personal banking. Remember, FDIC, split left, right, but not very far. There's going to be a handoff up the middle. Graham Hinkin as he'll move those his way past midfield, past the 45 to the 44. Going to be plenty for first down here. That's going to be about a 15-yard gain or so. Make it 12. I can't do yardage math. It'll be 1st and 10 with 4:07 to go. The Rams trail the Panthers 40-12. They're down 28 here from J.D. Shields Memorial Stadium. They need some big plays to stay alive.
Well, it is tough. And Mount Vernon's grinding it out. And you'll learn in a game like this, we know season's kind of winding down on you, who you can depend on for next year. Those guys going out here fighting now, they're underclassmen.
Of course, for the seniors, they don't want their season to end. Graham Hinkin, of course, is going to go off tackle more to the right than to the left, and he'll get about 5 on the play. He'll cut it in half at about the 39. So a 5-yard gain from the 44 to the 39 makes it 2nd and nickel for the Rams, trailing 40-12 with 3:30 to go in the first quarter. I said first. I meant third. My apologies. Staring into the sun, not that I would make a difference. So what a beautiful day here for high school football. Saturday afternoon playoff football. In motion, Miller Gray coming from the left, or two toward the left, and he is going to find a nice bit of running room as he gets to the 30. So an 8-yard gain for DeMontez Miller Gray makes it 1st and 10 for the Rams as we head toward the 4 o'clock hour. Rams still down 28.
Positive. That's all you can ask for in this situation. The positives are trying to get back into this one, and they're battling hard.
1st and 10 for the Rams. The ball is on the Washington 29-yard line. 3 minutes left to play in the third quarter. 40-12 Panthers. Inside handoff to Hinkin. He'll go right down the gap. Looks like maybe 4 yards of the play. As it looks like it's about the 25-yard line to bring up 2nd and 6 with 2:47 left in this third frame.
Now Vernon's starting to gain a little momentum running the football. The play calling, rhythm in that is this big crowd. A lot of people hanging around here. Dinner reservations in the big city.
Dinner reservations, some RVs made the trip
Love
down.
the RV
doing it
across
the right
way. Yeah, from Washington. That's awesome.
The flag flying proudly. 2:23 to go here. It's 2nd and 6. It's going to be a counterplay to C.J. Lloyd, who started left, ends up right up the gut. Does he get quite to the 20-yard line? Hard to see the yardage markers. Maybe inside the 20 at about the 19 as I see the judge to the near side standing on the 2.
Not quite a first down. Mentioned the RV across the way. You also got to mention that they had bags, too. They had all kinds of things going on over there.
Oh, they're doing it the right way. Kids, youngins playing football over there in the gravel lot. Hopefully tuned in. And let's see what happens. It's going to be another counter. This time it's going to be Jylen Rush getting the carry. Perhaps a glimpse into the future as he gets to about the 15, and that'll bring a 5-yard gain for 2nd and 5.
Carlisle loses to Staunton 19-14. That was a little bit of a shocker, in my opinion.
It'll be 2nd and 5. It'll be on the 15. Ball is on the near hash. Tyler Bradley, the center, gets to the line. To the right side split, it'll be Marshall. On the left, Doug Gardner. Slot back to the fullback. In motion was Miller Gray. It's going to be a handoff to Graham Hinkin, who gets to about the 12, and it'll be a 3-yard gain to bring up 3rd and 2 with 1:22 to go in the third quarter.
Mount Vernon's powering the football now in this drive, starting to knock Washington back. No caps being worn by anybody in the booth. You put that together how you will.
With 1:09 to go. Third quarter action from J.D. Shields Memorial Stadium and the WMIX Sports Mobile Studios, driven by Ford Square. Rams football is powered by Community First Bank. Strong side is to the left. Split to the right side, it'll be Marshall. Carry is going to be DeMontez Miller Gray. A flag on the play as he gets inside the 10 at about the 5, and we'll see exactly where this one's going. It may come back on the hold.
Carlisle season ends on a pass that is intercepted in the end zone. They lose to Staunton 19-14. This probably goes back probably 10 yards. Third one of the day for the Rams. This drive is starting to get under 50 seconds to go here in the third.
I think we just had a question on Facebook. I'm sure we'll get to it. About the field, but I couldn't see the full question. About this one comes back. I'm assuming about the color.
Dormant Bermuda grass.
As we're more than happy to interact with our audience. 44 seconds left in the third quarter. It's 3rd and 17 after the hold pushes it back to the 27. It's going to be a handoff to Miller Gray on the inside variety, and it gets to about the 25-24. It'd make it 4th and long here for the Rams, about 4th and 14 with 29 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. So the Rams do not have to get a playoff here in the quarter.
Took care of that. 4th and 14 now for Mount Vernon, and we appreciate the listeners and watchers all over talking to us and everything. It's awesome to have, and the compliments and questions as well.
Let's see what happens. It's going to be 4th down and about 15. And the clock will stop. As the Rams did not have to get a playoff in the quarter. When we come back, it'll be 4th and long for the Rams. The ball will be on their own 24-yard line. It'll still be Washington 40, Mount Vernon 12. We'll take a break. This is Rams football from WMIX Sports.
Your spine is a miracle of engineering, so when pain strikes, your body is telling you to get help fast. The Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois is proud to feature their spine care team. Doctors Kowalski and Smith, the professionals at Orthopedic Center, specialize in back and neck pain. So put our spine care team on the job. Find out more online at orthocenter-si.com. Stop the pain, fix the problem, and enjoy life again. The Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. Now is a great time to move your account to Community First Bank. With our new One account offering the highest interest rate in the market, free checking, and CD specials delivered by people you know and trust, why would you not bank with the market leader in Jefferson County? We offer 5 locations with 7 ATMs and have been serving the Jefferson County market since 1906. Stop in and see why our bank is the fastest growing bank in Jefferson County. Community First Bank. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC.
Broadcasting live from the WMIX mobile studios, driven by King City Chrysler. This is Mount Vernon Rams Football.
To the fourth quarter we had from J.D. Shields Memorial Stadium. Washington 40, Mount Vernon 12, and it'll be Ram football at the 24-yard line in Washington territory, where it is fourth, and we're going to stay at about 14. Yeah, the shotgun are going to pooch in motion. It is shotgun. Looking for a nice dump off pass. That's going to be broken up. Looks like the linebacker Shoney came around to get that one. All of about 5'10" and 165 pounds. And forces the turnover on down, so it'll be Panther football at their own 24 with a minute. Make that 11:57 left to go in the fourth quarter.
Well, that was tough because that ball got knocked down, and Mount Vernon had driven from their 17 and just couldn't get a first down to continue to drive.
Former Panther Steve Ryan tuned in from Springboro, Ohio.
Nice.
Thank you. Chip Lyon, I believe, tuned in from somewhere on an iPad.
Gave the Lady Rams a day off today, according to his SID.
Up the right side of the carry for Danley out of the backfield, and he is the all-time leading rusher in Washington history, of course, as he took that crown today, and now looking to crown this game. It's 40-12. Panthers on top with 11:40 and change left to go. So it'll be a 6-yard gain up the right to the 30 for Danley, and that'll give a breather here for, looks like Grider coming off as a defensive end.
Greenville now up on Robinson 49-14 in the fourth. Carterville trails Mount Carmel 42-26. Lions trying to come back, but very little time left in that one.
See how it goes with 11:18 left. It's going to be the quarterback. Can't believe I forgot his name somehow. Colton Marshall out of the shotgun. Looks like he got back to about the 30.
Alcoff wins 21-14 as Heron competes nicely out of the Ohio Division against the South 7 school.
Not bad for the Heron Tigers. Now, think of Jason Carnes. You have to be proud of that effort.
Yeah, disappointing now, proud of it later.
Exactly. 10:50 to play. We'll see them at the Pyramid coming up. As this is going to be Danley making a break for it. Off tackle left. Cross midfield to the 40, 35, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Pay dirt. That is a 69-yard touchdown run for number 21, Casey Danley. And the all-time leading rusher in Panther history claws his way to another 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touchdowns. Wow.
I thought it was Danley on the carry.
Who was it?
Did I have that wrong?
I thought it was 21. Was it not 21? That's what I thought it was, yeah. 21. Yeah, Casey Danley, his 5th touchdown.
Okay, we're good. I got confused because I heard a different name.
Yeah.
46-12 the score as we await the point after with 10:38 to go. They're going to go ahead and go for 2. Trying to make it a nice round number. And it was a pass intended just up the right of the slot for Jimmy McKay. And it was batted down. So it'll remain 46-12.
46-12.
With 10:38 left.
69 yards on that one.
Wow. Yep. Got some great blocking along the way.
Wow. Wow. Can you believe, totally impressive. We were impressed on film by him. In person, not letting us down at all. By the way, Lady Rams did practice today.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Nice to know. Didn't think he'd give day off that early.
Rams will practice twice on Monday. Not sure if the Lady Rams are going to follow suit.
Well, yeah.
Of course, the Lady Rams are a week behind. They don't get to start until the 11th.
Althoff will have to go to Rochester because Rochester and Althoff have hosted the same number of games, and Rochester's at 2 and Althoff is an 8. So Althoff to Rochester. Friday night? Okay.
So the South 7 at least makes it into the quarterfinals.
Yep.
That's probably going to be about it.
Crazy game it looks like. Lady Rams 1-3 on Monday, for those wondering on practice.
Sandwiched in between the Rams. They'll do two. This could be a kick on the ground, picked up by Jylan Rush, looking to come to the near side, stops at about the 39. That's where the Rams will have it at 1st and 10 with 10:34 left in the fourth quarter. Rams trying to keep the season going, but backs very, very much up against the wall at this point. Of course, if you're tired of big corporate banking, you have a choice in Jefferson County. Community First Bank is at home at Dickstein and Woodlawn in Mount Vernon. Welcome back to Personal Banking, member FDIC.
The hell? Heron's out. Carterville trying to fight their way back in. We're running out of time. Mount Vernon's fighting their way back, maybe.
We'll see what
Not
happens.
looking good. 28-27, U-High leads now.
10:34 here, an inside handoff as Graham Hinken is able to take it to about the 44-yard line. Again, apologies. The sun's shining brightly onto the field with dormant Bermuda grass meet the brown field, and very difficult to read the yardage markers. It'll be between the hashes here. See if the Rams keep it with split left and right, and the slot backs. We'll see what happens with. They break the huddle. 10:09 to play in the fourth quarter. 46-12, Washington on top. Split to the right side. It'll be Jacoby Marshall. It'll be tight left. In motion will be C.J. Lloyd. It's going to be a pitch up to the near side. He's back at the 40. He's going to hit to about the 41, 42.
I was too busy watching Tanner Smith. He was he was starting on the right side of the field, and he was sighting it in. He got blocked off, couldn't get there from the safety position. But you were 6'6", you're fun to watch. And number two, you can find him everywhere.
I like the fact that the Panthers are orange or black. It just gives you a feeling of a full home crowd here in the King City. And what an atmosphere it's been at J.D. Shields Memorial Stadium to this point. 9:22 to go in the fourth quarter. 46-12 Panthers. Rams with the football on their own 43 inside the near hash where it's 3rd and 6. And this is going to be a handoff to Graham Hinken, the fullback. Going to get maybe 2 or so on the play to bring up 4th and 4.
We welcome to the King City Brad and Diana Trout watching online in the Steel City of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Nice.
How's that?
I love feedback. Love to know where people are from, who maybe tuned in or logged on. Last time I got wind of Pennsylvania, there was actually a gentleman in the Department of Corrections listening to a Lady Ram basketball game on AM 940 at night on a rare ionization of the atmosphere. The troposphere, actually. 8:34 to play in the fourth. Rams trail 46-12. Handoff will go up the middle, and this will be Graham Hinken, who gets just what he needs. So about 4 yards on the play. He'll make it 1st and 10. With 8:29 to go in the fourth quarter. Again, if you're just tuned in, it's 46-12 Washington, and they had a nice little lead at the half, and it's led to an even bigger lead here in the second half.
Well, can't hang your head. This is a very good Panthers team, and you just have to sit there and tip your cap. You know, there are days you just say, they're better than we are, and that's exactly what Washington is today.
8:07 to go in the fourth. Let's see what happens on the near side. Sweet play to C.J. Lloyd. Somehow tightrope the sideline, stayed in bounds, and cut back left. Does he get first down yardage? Went across midfield, since they were already across midfield, but had to go backward to go forward, and that'll be all the way down to about the 30-yard line. I say about, because it's going to be about a 17-yard gain for C.J., who came into the day with over 500 rushing yards on the season. DMG, of course, the team leader in the clubhouse with over 1,000. Well, 7:48 to play. It's 46-12 Panthers. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Rams. It'll actually be on about the 32-yard line. Dylan Reeves is under center. Handoff will go right up the middle to Montez. Miller Gray split the defense and somehow got behind the linebackers. Past the 20 to around the 15. Again, we're having to be general with our description.
You see some subbing going on by Washington, too. You see some guys not in there, and You see them trying to get some people some playing time, some experience in this late in the season as they'll head to the quarters. 50 seconds left. Carterville now within 42-34.
Oh, my. One possession.
One possession, an onside kick coming, I'm sure.
7:22 left to go in the fourth quarter. 46-12 Panthers. 1st and 10 on the Washington 13. Went to the right side on Marshall. It was Gardner tight left. This is going to be a carry up the middle into traffic for C.J. Lloyd. Probably no gain at best. Would bring up 2nd and 10 with 7:05 to play.
Edwardsville out early, 14-zip early first up at Bradley Bourbonnais. As the Tigers look to advance to the quarters.
Of course, Red Lake College powers our video streaming at WMIXsports.com. See how you can save thousands of dollars on your college education. See how to apply online at rlc.edu. 6:46 left here. Fourth quarter action. It's 46-12. It'll be Reeves under center. Ooh, a sweet play to the right, trying to stretch the field of C.J. Lloyd, and not going to get much out of it. Yeah.
Lloyd didn't get much there on the stretch play. So we're waiting on a onside kick from Carterville. We keep waiting. 42-34, 50 seconds to go.
There you go. Bottom of the hour here on WMIX and WMIX-FM Mount Vernon, Marion Effingham. A free service from Withers Broadcasting. 6:36 left to go in the fourth quarter. It's 46-12 Panthers. And this is going to be a handoff to Grider, who gets another carry on the year. So Robert Grider will get a couple on the play.
Positive of the second half. Outcome not probably going to be, but Mount Vernon's been able to move the football. And again, if you're Jared Chainer and staff, you go into the off season more than likely here. You have to look at this thing on tape and heading into the off season, showing, hey, you can move the football, guys. We just got to tweak some other things and get some things going. And Washington shows you what you have to match. CS8, Mid-Illini Conference. You know what it is. You know what you got to do to get better in the off season.
Amen. 6 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. 4th and 6 for the Rams, and the ball is on the 9-yard line, but it looks like they might have drawn Washington offside.
U-High is now up 35-27.
So 4th and 1, a bit more manageable than 4th and 6 here for the Rams. They'll go all the way down to the 4-yard line with 5:57 left. And, of course, we remind you, the WMIX Sports Mobile Studios is driven by Ford Square and Kingsley Chrysler and will be in the basketball season.
That game with U-High winning 35-27 has 3:28 left in the game.
U-High's had to come back a couple of times.
Well, it came down 2 years ago and Preston Chalia won first round of the playoffs.
4th and 1. Reeves, the quarterback under center. It'll be a fumbled snap, and he's going to have to get away from the linebacking core who were rushing that time. And it'll be a big loss and a turnover on downs. It'll be Washington football with 5:38 left. It's 46-12 Panthers.
That was a case of a quarterback trying to get out from under center faster than the football could get to him. And when you do that, the ball's going to tip your fingertips. It's going to fall out, and off it hits the floor. And unfortunately for Mount Vernon, it's a loss of down. Football goes to Washington as Rochester leads Mater Dei 56-22 now with 6 minutes left to go in that game.
Scoreboard updates presented by Tony Wilt, your State Farm agent here in Mount Vernon. You can find him worldwide at TonyWilt.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Danley going to get the carry to the near side. Finds his seam and some running room as he gets to about the 35, down at the 38. Going to be a gain of 22. It'll be 1st and 10 now for the Panthers with 5:30 left. Washington on top, 46-12.
He's got to be well over 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. I mean, I'm looking at the numbers, and there are a lot of cricket numbers with 2 digits on them, and he goes out, and the offense, number 1 offense, he will go out to a standing ovation from the west side of the field from the Washington fans. Well-deserved. What a pleasure to get to watch him in person this afternoon.
Marshall will remain the quarterback just to keep everything under proper guidance. Out of the eye this time. Looks like it's going to be a handoff to Menoweather. Right up the middle. Got about 6 on the play, maybe 7 to bring up 2nd and 3 or 4 with 5:10 left to go.
Carterville's recovered the onside kick and will have it with under 45 seconds to go.
46-12 the score. We drop below the 5-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. All updates as far as scores are concerned are presented by your State Farm agent, Tony Wilt. Went to the left side. Looks like Brock Reed, the senior, will get some action. Split to the right side. Quarterback Marshall under center out of the I formation with 4:45 left. The ball is on the near the near hash, I should say, at about the 44-yard line in Panther territory with 4:40 to go. And this is going to be a carry sniffed out by the Rams. Looks like that time that might have been number 22, Jake Clark. And that is exactly where it went. We remind you, one of our booster sponsors here on Rams Athletics is Winning Edge. If you're looking for an award to recognize an individual, team, or other accomplishment, check out Winning Edge's fashionable line of plaques, trophies, medallions, glass, and acrylics. Visit winningedgeusa.com. 4:14 left. The clock will roll. 3rd and 6 now for the Panthers. Ball on their own 43-yard line near hash. Again, out of the eye, split left and right. Manyweather appears to be the fullback. It'll be McKay as the tailback, and Marshall's going to dial his own number here. Gets to the outside to the near sideline, now cuts back at midfield. First down yardage to the 49 for a gain of 8 with 3:53 left.
Well, we look at some scores. Quincy over Piatone 10-7. That's in the first quarter. Auburn over Carlinville in mid-fourth 49-12, and Carterville trying to get back in. That's the onside kick. They're at the Aces 48-yard line.
So 3:43 left. Principal Wes Olson in attendance. You can follow him on Twitter at MVTHS as he takes care of that, I believe, the school account. As this is going to be Isaac, pardon my pronunciation, I'm going to go with Tubo at the moment.
Carterville
Gary, no gain.
has it with 1.4 to play at the 23-yard line of Mount Carmel. They need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
There we go.
And there goes the first-string offense.
To a loud ovation.
You betcha. You can hear it all the way over here.
Of course, with 5 Jefferson County branches and responsive quality service for all of your accounts, Community First Bank would like to be the first to say, welcome back to Personal Banking, member FDIC. And, of course, Community First Bank is the official voice of high school sports here on WMIX and WMIXsports.com.
Lena Winslow beat Freeport-Akron 48-20 today.
Ronnie Crothers appears to be the new quarterback, as that is going to be a QB keeper to about the 45, maybe a gain of 3 to bring up 3rd and about 7 with 2:36 left to go in the ballgame. Our next Rams broadcast will be Monday, November the 25th, as the Rams basketball team heads to the Pyramid Plus tournament in Heron. They will meet the Marion Wildcats. 6:45 will be your pregame. 7 o'clock will be your alleged tip-off with video at WMIXsports.com. FM only on 94.1. Right here, 2:19 to play. Others will gather his team. Split left and right out of the eye. 46-12 your score. Washington on top, trying to kill as much clock as possible. A sign of respect of the Mid-Illini Conference, and the inside handoff will be to Tubal again. Part of the pronunciation, and he'll break for it. No, it's the quarterback, Crothers. Looking to go far corners. He's to the 10, 5, almost tripped up. Looks like he'll be stopped short. Maybe at about the 2 or the 3. It's going to be a 43-yard run as Doug Gardner gets the saving tackle.
Carterville has scored. As time expires, they need the 2-point conversion to tie. Oh, my. They were down 40-something to 13 or 20 and have come back all the way to tie it up. They need a 2-point conversion to tie this up.
1:53 to play. 46-12 is your score. It'll be 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. They'll split left and right. On the right side, it is Tyler Burns. To the left, it will actually be Brock Reed. Brothers, the quarterback, will be at the center out of the I formation. Inside handoff this time will go right up the middle to Jake Clark, and let's see if he gets it, and he will. That'll make it 52-12.
Yep.
So there you go.
Jake Clark on the carry.
Wow. An impressive showing today by the Panthers.
With about 1:33 left, it'll be 52-12, and we'll see what they go with here. As the Rams season will close with a 7-4 record, and Washington will improve to 11-0. As the Mount Vernon crowd will start to thin.
Yep. Restaurants will fill up quickly for early lunch, late lunch, early dinner.
Here comes Jake Miller on the PAC, and it's up and it's good. It's 53-12.
From number 19, Jake Miller. With a minute 33 remaining in the fourth quarter. It's the Washington Panthers.
And as they will head to quarterfinals for the 5th time in 6 years. Well, the Washington Panthers and Mount Vernon win the year at 7-4.
Once the ball is put into play, there will be a running clock for the remaining
And Mount Vernon will finish 7-4. Basketball will start. Washington will move on to quarterfinal round play. Right now it's against U High because they're winning. Tied at 42. Carterville has come from nowhere to tie the game up at the end of regulation. They are going to overtime at Lions Field on the campus of Carterville High School, 42-all, Carterville and Mount Carmel.
A minute 33 left, and here comes the kick, and it is going to be past the 40. Williamson will give chase.
Kick that thing out of bounds.
And there will be a flag. With a minute 32 left, it's 53-12. Panthers on top, cruising to his quarterfinal appearance. They'll play either U High or Jacksonville next week.
Wow.
So with a minute 18 left to go, the Rams will have it 1st and 10. That's at about the 37-yard line. See what the Rams do here. For the seniors, it's been a great season. For the juniors and sophomores, they get to come back next year. The quarterback, the junior Reeves, will hand off to C.J. Lloyd, trying to come near side, lost the football at about the 40, and maybe more out of a courteous nature than anything, it'll be on the...
It was down. He was down. And it's a tough way. He won't feel good now. You'll look back as time goes by, and Mount Vernon will look back on what a tremendous year it was to go from 0-9 to 7-4. Major step forward in this program for Jared Shaner and his team.
20 seconds left to go, and this is going to be a handoff to Doug Gardner getting the carry, and the senior will take it past the 40 to about the 42. And this will probably end the clock on the 2013 Rams football season. It has been brought to you all season long by Community First Bank of the Heartland, the official voice of the Rams and Lady Rams. Of course, always bank on your hometown team. Community First Bank is home of the one account, featuring free checking and high-yield interest. And that is a final. The Washington Panthers 53, the Mount Vernon Rams 12. We'll tell you all about it in the Schmidt Chevrolet postgame show. This is Rams football from WMIX Sports.
I'm Jeremy Pearson with a look at your next rad weather. Bright sunshine and milder today, high 63. Clear tonight, low 35. Plenty of sunshine and cooler tomorrow, high 54. And your Veterans Day will be breezy with increasing cloudiness, high 58. There could be a shower later that evening. And Tuesday will be much cooler, high 41. Next rad weather from WMIX, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
I couldn't resist. Last month's Ram Truck Month was so successful, I have decided to extend the only true truck month. Hi, Roy Schmidt, Ram dealer at King City Chrysler, Mount Vernon. You remember me telling you that the deals couldn't get any better, and it can't. That's why I'm glad to extend the opportunity for 0% financing for 72 months, plus $2,000 cash back on new 2013 Ram Quad Cabs and Crew Cabs with the Bighorn, Express, or Outdoorsman packages. 2014s are arriving daily, and we are ready to deal to help close out the 2013 model year. Take advantage of these amazing incentives. Come see one of our sales associates at King City Chrysler Center at 1603 Broadway in Mount Vernon, Illinois, or shop us online at kingcitychrysler.com. Find us on Facebook. And don't forget our new Express Lane fast oil changes and more for service without an appointment.
Face it, life can be very complicated. You need to simplify, streamline, and save time wherever you can. Life just got simpler at People's National Bank. Now get your monthly account statements online at peoplesnationalbank.com. If you're looking for a convenient, faster, and safer way to receive your monthly bank account statement, sign up for online statements available through People's Online Internet Banking. The next time you're online, go to peoplesnationalbank.com and simplify your life. You deserve it.
People's National Bank, serving Southern Illinois since 1909. Member FDIC.
Ren Lake College Theater presents Treasure Island. This swashbuckling stage adaptation incorporates plenty of comedy and includes all the adventures of Robert Louis Stevenson's classic tale. Enjoy nightly performances Thursday, November 7th through Saturday, November 9th, and a special Sunday matinee on November 10th. It's called a ridiculously funny version of the classic adventure tale. Tickets are just $12 through the RLC ticket office. Call the RLC box office at 437-4321, extension 1467.
America is a nation on wheels. Everyone has at least one automobile. We use them for shopping, work, everything we do. But they can be a threat. Some accidents can't be prevented. Your professional Pekin Insurance Agency, Page Insurance on Crownview and Mount Vernon, can help protect you from a large financial loss when an accident happens. Call Page Insurance today at 242-7000 about low-cost auto insurance from Pekin Insurance. Ask them about the many money-saving discounts that are available. Depend on your hometown professionals.
Pekin Insurance.
This is Mount Vernon Rams Football from WMIX Sports. The Schmidt Chevrolet postgame show starts now.
And we welcome you back into J.D. Shields Memorial Stadium. 53-12, your final. The Washington Panthers are 11-0. The Rams season comes to an end at 7-4. Chris Hugo with Danny Czerwinski alongside, and what a season it was for Rams football. Getting back to the postseason for the first time since 2008. Getting into the second round in a home game for the first time since 2007. Of course, they finished at 7-4, but nothing to hang your heads about in a game like this, where a tough Washington Panther team comes in with over 3,400 rushing yards in the season. Have a great runner like Casey Danley, who scores 5 touchdowns and probably runs for over 300 yards today, and a fast linebacking core, and that was what stood you right in front of you. And Rams did their best, I thought, for all intents and purposes, had a pretty good effort.
Yeah, and it's tough now, and for the seniors, you don't get to put the pads on anymore here at J.D. Shields Memorial Stadium or for the Mount Vernon Rams, and it's a tough way to go. And I mean, it'll be hard to take those pads and helmet off tonight, and when you go in the locker room here, and you feel for the seniors who have done so much and worked so hard to get this program back to second round of the playoffs, 7-4 overall, and it'll be tough today, but as time goes on, they'll look back. They'll be the cornerstone to turn this program around. And hopefully in the off-season, that'll make the freshmen, sophomores, juniors, the incoming freshman class for next year, their 8th graders now, that much more hungry. And before you know it, it'll be opening week next year in that first couple of games against Charleston and Taylorville before you know it.
There you go. And, of course, that'll be next August. And while Rams football will conclude for now, we have plenty more coming your way on the Schmidt Chevrolet postgame show. We'll have your player of the game. We'll get you one final scoreboard update, and we'll get you some scoring and stats here from the WMIX Sports Mobile Studios. This is your Schmidt Chevrolet postgame show. We'll take a break. Remind you can view Schmidt Chevrolet's inventory, new and pre-owned, online at schmidtchevrolet.com. We'll take that break. This is Rams football from WMIX Sports.
Wouldn't it be amazing if there was somewhere you could listen to knowledgeable discussion, interviews with a great mix of coaches, get the scores, and be entertained? You must have missed last week's Saturday Sports Show. Give AM 940 a couple hours every Saturday morning after the 8 o'clock news, and we'll give you the info you need like no one else can. It's your best option this sports season. The Saturday Sports Show on WMIX and WMIXSports.com. Powered by Crossroads Community Hospital.
Attention all Medicare Part D pharmacy patients. The annual enrollment period begins October 15th and ends December 7th. And the Medicine Shop Pharmacy is ready to help you. Stop by or call to make an appointment with Eric Black or Tracy Adams. They'll review your current prescription plan and help you manage your Medicare dollars. Here's pharmacist and pharmacy owner Eric Black.
What we offer to our patients is to sit down with them and answer questions that they may have about their medications, really with the end goal of being to maximize their dollars, because that's, after all, what patients really want. We'll take appointments, we'll sit down with them, take as long as it takes to help them choose a plan that is effective at meeting their needs.
Remember, the good folks at the Medicine Shop Pharmacy are never too busy to take care of you. They look forward to understanding your healthcare needs and will focus on keeping you well. The Medicine Shop Pharmacy, 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
To call to make an appointment, call 618-242-8776.
Hi, this is Joe Davey Cummins, President of Community First Bank. Now is a great time to move your account to Community First Bank. With our new One account offering the highest interest rate in the market, free checking, and CD specials delivered by people you know and trust, why would you not bank with the market leader in Jefferson County? We offer 5 locations with 7 ATMs and have been serving the Jefferson County market since 1906. Stop in and see why our bank is the fastest growing bank in Jefferson County. Community First Bank. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC.
Broadcasting live from the WMIX mobile studios, driven by Ford Square. This is Mount Vernon Rams Football.
Welcome back on WMIX and WMIXSports.com with Danny Czerwinski. I'm Chris Hugo. And, of course, the Rams fall here today to Washington, 53-12. And what a great run in 2013 it happened to be. And the Rams will finish their season at 7-4, and Washington will move to next week's quarterfinal with 11-0 record. And, of course, we need to take a look at some scoring and stats here on your Spitzer Relay postgame. So we remind you, Rams football is presented by Community First Bank of the Heartland. Welcome back to Personal Banking. 5 Jefferson County branches, responsive quality service for all of your accounts. Let Community First Bank be the first to say, welcome back to Personal Banking. There we go.
Well, these are very and highly unofficial things got going and carried away and whatnot. Mount Vernon and Washington tied with 19 first downs apiece. The Rams had 5 turnovers to Washington's 1. Penalties, it was Mount Vernon 3 for 20, Washington 6 for 50. Washington had near 400 yards or more of rushing offense, probably higher than that. Mount Vernon around 201. Mount Vernon was 60 yards passing to Washington State, but it was over 400 or 500 yards for Washington to around 270 for Mount Vernon as the Rams lose today to Washington here at home 53-12.
There you go. And, of course, we'll get you updated on Carterville. Mount Carmel.
It's a winner.
It's
over.
As I understand that our sister station, Wing FM, Wing 94.9, and Bob Bowser had an immaculate call, is what I'm being told, of the description of that 2-point conversion. And so the Aces will go on to the quarterfinals next week as well. So there was your scoring and stats. We still have more to tell you about on your Spitzer Relay postgame show here on Rams Football, presented by Community First Bank of the Heartland. So we'll go ahead and slip out for a quick break. We'll come back, get you our final segment of the football season here on your Spitzer Relay postgame show. View their inventory online at SpitzerRelay.com. This is Rams Football from WMIX Sports.
Rend Lake College Theater presents Treasure Island. This swashbuckling stage adaptation incorporates plenty of comedy and includes all the adventures of Robert Louis Stevenson's classic tale. Enjoy nightly performances Thursday, November 7th through Saturday, November 9th, and a special Sunday matinee on November 10th. It's called a ridiculously funny version of the classic adventure tale. Tickets are just $12 through the RLC ticket office. Call the RLC box office at 437-4321, extension 1467.
Here's Jeff Schmidt for Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon.
The Sonic is a car that has done well for us, and we're moving out the remaining 2013 Sonic. I know people that have come in looking for pre-owned cars and have driven off with a new Chevy Sonic because they're so affordable that they can get into a brand new car with a brand new warranty for basically the same payment. So the Sonic is really a good deal for people.
Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon, 3423 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
This is Mount Vernon Rams Football, powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland.
And we welcome you back, and Rams Football is indeed presented by Community First Bank of the Heartland. Chris Hugo with Danny Czerwinski alongside of your Schmidt Chevrolet postgame show. Holly Carroll has done a wonderful job back at our Mount Vernon studio, and Avery Barton did a great job with our video today on WMIXSports.com. But we wrap things up here from the King City. We'll get you a player of the game in just a moment. Your final score, the Washington Panthers 53, the Mount Vernon Rams 12, as Washington advances to the quarterfinals next week.
They will play Normal U High as the Pioneers come back to beat Jacksonville, the Crimson. Normal U High 35, Jacksonville 27. Washington beats Mount Vernon, of course, today 53-12. In Class 4A, the two games that will play each other, Althoff beat Heron 21-14, and Rochester beat Mater Dei 56-28 in overtime. Now, Mount Carmel led this game 42-13. Carterville scored with no time on the clock. Went for 2 and got it. Carterville scored, took an extra point, went up 49-42 in overtime. On 3rd and 22, Mount Carmel scored, went for 2, and Mount Carmel comes back, actually holds on, however you want to look at it, and beats Carterville 50-49 in overtime. Greenville beat Robinson 49-21. It is also Staunton over Carlisle 19-14, and Gillespie leads Carmine to have 16-12. Problem is, Carmi is without Chase Saylor. He has a concussion and is out of the game.
You always hate to hear that. Chase Saylor, of course, pretty well the gas for the Carmi White County Bulldogs. You always hate to hear about the concussion, though, the severity of those and the unknown after effects that can happen. But hopefully he will be okay.
Yeah.
That's a quick glance at your scoreboard update, powered all season long by Tony Wilt, State Farm Insurance. We'll have those back again come this basketball season. And, of course, our next Rams broadcast will actually be on Monday, November the 25th. 6:45 pregame as the Rams will battle the South 7 rival, the Marion Wildcats, at the Pyramid Plus Tournament in Heron. Again, 6:45 pregame, 7 p.m. tip-off. Also online at WMIXsports.com with video from the Pyramid Plus Tournament. Lady Rams, of course, will go to Nashville Thanksgiving week. We'll get them some coverage throughout the week. We'll announce that as we know more about the Nashville tournament in terms of what coverage we can provide on which date. So, there you have it. That's going to do it for us this season, but we need to get you some players of the game without a shadow of any doubt. The Rams seniors, the class of 2014, who helped pave the way for this 2013 playoff run. And, of course, we salute and congratulate seniors Jacoby Marshall, Doug Gardner, Ilando Watson, Robert Grider, C.J. Lloyd, Jacob Williamson, Tyler Knudsen, Matt Morton, Miles Tate, Enrique Lamb, Josh Borland, Tyler Bradley, Cody O'Neill, and Eli Phillips. And we apologize if we missed anybody. Those are the lone seniors, of course, on the final roster I have been handed on this 2013 season. So the seniors who helped pave the way along with this talented junior and sophomore class helped pave the way to a 7-4 season. Second round of the playoffs, not too shabby. It all comes to a close today, however, against the Washington Panthers.
For our friends in Washington who may be listening, Highland leads Bartonville Limestone 29-14 with 9:09 to play in that ball game. So Highland are looking to remain undefeated, but as we learned from Mount Carmel and Carterville, that game far from over as well.
And a special shout-out, of course, Brian Reynolds, whose messages I just got all at once. He gets a special shout-out. We'll see him over the coming weeks as basketball season gets underway with Lady Rams basketball. So thank you for listening, Brian. Thank you for listening to all who checked in throughout the broadcast today, as well as those who watched online from distances near and wide as the Mount Vernon Rams, of course, fall to Washington. Again, your final score, 53-12. For our WMIX sports team, Holly Carroll back at the studio, Avery Barton on location, Danny Czerwinski to my side. I'm Chris Hugo, thanking you for supporting Rams Athletics here on WMIX and WMIXsports.com, especially on behalf of our sponsors, including Community First Bank of the Heartland. We're back at it with basketball in just a couple of weeks. You can find our broadcast schedule online here soon at WMIXsports.com. We'll get to work on that first thing on Monday, now that the football season has come to a close. Congrats to Coach Jared Shaner, his assistants, and the 2013 edition of the Mount Vernon Rams football team, 7-4, second round of the playoffs. And again, it all comes to an end today at the hands of the Washington Panthers, 53-12. So long from the King City.
You've been listening to Mount Vernon Rams Football on WMIX and WMIXsports.com. Rams Football is sponsored by Community First Bank of the Heartland. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Rams Football has also been sponsored by the Medicine Shop of Mount Vernon, Ford Square and King City Chrysler. You can count on us. Red Lake College. Save thousands on your college education. Log on to rlc.edu. State Farm Insurance Agent Tony Wilt. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Second Chance Auto on Route 142 East in Mount Vernon. Vanterra Bank. Good Samaritan Regional Health Center. Raising a Hospital. Raising the Bar. Winning Edge. Schmidt Ford of Salem. And also by the Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois. Landers Collision Centers of Mount Vernon and Salem. Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon. All Stars and Stitches. Central Christian Church. And People's National Bank. Stay in the game on Twitter. Follow us at WMIX Sports. Or log on to WMIXsports.com. Now back to America's best music on WMIX